Oh my!
Didn't feel that. No! Ow!
Oh my God.
Ow! Whoa! That'll wake you up in the morning, baby. Guys, I can tell you right now,
Guys are
we're
so
ready to
nuts.
release baseball. This is
Boys.
watermelon hail.
Oh my! Welcome in, chat. We started on time. Doesn't look like it may not be on the ground right now, so Dick Worsham. Dude, I just can't with that. Let's go! I don't care what you've got to do. Get everyone from the Discord, get everyone you know in this stream right now. Get them in here.
Oh!
10,000. 10,001. 2. It just keeps going. It's like a clock.
How are you doing tonight?
Oh,
Phoenix of the
Kevin's here.
Gods?
Hi, Kevin.
Oh my. Not what I was thinking.
Let's go, chat. Looks like it's starting to rope out a little bit, Edgar. This is crazy.
Wow! Look at that!
At Angela Hones 927 super chatted $6.78. Well done, guys. Love
I
from
can't
me.
even with this right now, guys. Like, what is this?
Boom! Brad is out front. Brad is taking a strong lead. Here comes number 7, right on the side. Number 1, number 14 are making a push. Number 7. Oh my God! Brad is going down to the end. Oh my goodness! I'm not late. I'm right on time.
Oh my God, dude.
Like, okay, here we go.
Hey, who's this girl in the back, bro? She's just sitting here, just hadn't said a dang word, just staring at us.
That's my girlfriend.
Oh,
Babe, hold your mic button down.
What's up?
wait, what's your username? Hold on. Was that Lactatia?
It's Letitia.
Let's go. Chat, we gotta be locked in. We gotta be locked in today. We got 2 amazing guests gonna be joining the show. Let's give them a Stormfront Freak, Stormcat, warm welcome. Let's go. Oh, mama. You could be a little chalk, chat. We can always be a little chalk. I mean, Boat Guy. Phil, you're behind Boat Guy. He's going to get you through this. People in the chat are loving Boat Guy. Jess, Ginger Ninja, the return of the boat. Andrew Johnson, you can always trust the guy with the boat. I'm telling you, this guy, Eric Gray,
no.
that
Hold
guy
on,
is going,
chat. I
that
gotta
guy
get
is
a
going
nasal
fishing
spray.
no matter what. And now, your local on the Meower. Don't leave me. Don't. Shotgun. Shotgun. Shotgun.
No, you can't.
Shotgun. Shotgun. I called shotgun. Let me in. No. I called shotgun. terrible situation right now for the eastern suburbs of Huntsville. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is a particularly dangerous situation.
Who's ready, chat? Who's ready?
And now, your local on the Meower.
Who's ready? If you're ready, let me know in chat right now. Oh, mama!
Clearly, a large and destructive tornado is on the ground. This is moving through the city of Natch, Tennessee right now.
Let's get the
this
hype
is as real
going
as
in
it
the
gets.
chat. Let's get it going. All caps allowed.
There could
This
be
is an
3
unbelievable
tornadoes
stream.
back to back to back here. Right, let me circle one. There's one just to the west of Lebanon. There's another one. Both of those
Let's
are on
go.
the ground. We have radar confirmation that they're on the ground.
Here we go.
Probably a third one trying to form in Morrow.
It's El Niño. Oh my!
The following program is a production of the Stormfront Freaks Network.
Where am I?
Get the hype.
Hype
What is this
emotes
place?
in the chat now.
It's so dark. Oh, what is that sound?
Ah! This is the Big Weather Show. Oh! I'm your host, Stormcat5.
That is absolutely insane.
We're going to talk about the biggest stories in weather.
That
Oh
is
my.
a massive debris ball.
And who knows what we're going to say.
Was that lactatia?
It's Letitia.
So strap in, buckle up. The Big Weather Show starts in 10. Count it down. 8, 7, 6.
Great work, Carly.
4, 3, 2, 1. Now. Oh my! Oh, it is a good day. It is a great day. Oh, it is a fantastic day to be alive. That's right, Abby. Ohio sucks, gets you banned. Oh, Mom, I didn't even tell Carly to do that. Oh, my. TGWF, thank goodness it's Wednesday. And we've got one heck of a show for you today. Oh my. We are going to be talking with some unbelievable, some epic hurricane experts. Okay? We're going to be talking about the one, the only hurricane man, Josh Morgerman. We're also going to be talking about with Florida meteorologist and hurricane expert Matt Devitt. We've also got Stu. We've also got Phil, who's going to be joining us today. It will be an unbelievable show. Chat, let me hear from you right now in chat. Let's see who we got checking in. Looks like we got a lot of the regulars here as well. Oh, my. Carly, we got to stand for some things, okay? We don't want to make the chat too angry. Is that the TIV guy? No. Matt Devitt is not the TIV guy. Oh, mama. Oakley, Lightning Wolf, Jet Girl, said it's El Brady. Oh, my. Strato, Abby, Taco, Pettis is in the chat. Oh, Pettis. Forecasting game. Let's play. Oh, mama. Carly, Chappie, Sue, Kevin, time to lock up the chalked ones. Kevin is about to go on a warpath in the chat. Who knows what's going to happen? Oh, mama. Beth, Mad Pongs, Kim Twister. She says, me, I'm here. Oh, welcome in, Kim. Oakley's World is back in the stream after a long time. Oh my. Rusty peddler pickers. Okay. Welcome in, my friend. We've got quite a show for you today, guys. We got a lot of regulars in the chat. I got some new faces here first. Guys, if it's your first time, I always like to do this. If it's your first time on the stream, please let me know. I would love to hear from you if it is your first time on this stream today.
Wow, that is massive.
Oh, Beth just became a new member. Welcome to the family here, Beth. Today, we're going to be talking hurricanes, guys. We're in a little bit of a lull on the severe weather side. So today, we're going to be talking hurricanes, and we've got two amazing guests that we're going to share with you. Josh Morgerman, Matt Devitt, both experts on hurricanes, among other things. Wow. First time today. Larry. Yeah, Larry, I know it's not your first time. Okay, nice try. Nice try. Wow. Syrian dude, it's your first time on the stream. Welcome in, brother. Buckle up for the ride. All right, let's go to the big board here. We're going to bring in Stu. Stu, welcome to the stream, my friend. And looks like we do have someone backstage. Matt, I see you're backstage. I'm going to let you in just a second here. Stu, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are we doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Just fantastic. Just getting ready for this show. Looks like, wow. Actually, guys, we have a huge update here. We've got not only Matt is backstage. Matt, I'm going to bring you in right now. Welcome to the show, Matt, my friend.
Hey.
Welcome to the
How's it going, guys?
Oh, it is fantastic to have you, Matt. And how are things? How's Florida going?
Good. It's very busy with, starting to do my own thing and also taking care of two little kids. I am busy, very busy. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I got to say, though, I didn't look at the final stats for March Madness. Did you beat me or did I beat you? How'd that work? I didn't win.
I'm going to be honest. I think I might have beaten you. But if that was the right bracket, I think I might have come in second place. It was sorry. That was I came in like fifth. That was Brad Arnold that came in first place. Jordan came in second. Where did you finish?
Well, I picked Duke, and then when they had that finish, I was like,
oh no,
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
Brutal.
All right.
It was brutal. I mean, UConn beating them was just like, come on. I mean, they should not have won that game.
I know.
They shouldn't have won that game.
I saw that. I saw the ending, and I'm like, what just happened? I was like,
it was one of those moments. You know what? It was worth it in the end because it was one of those moments. One of those games we're gonna remember for a long time. So, it came at your expense though, which was unfortunate. So.
Yeah, I know, but Brad picked the winner, so
He did.
It's all the accolades for that.
Yeah. He literally the second they won, he texted me. He's like, give me the bananas. I was like, all right, here we go, Brad. Here we go. Phil, we're also going to bring you into the stream. Phil Johnson, who just joined the stream. Phil, welcome in. It's been a minute. You're coming back from a game in Miami. Matt, you remember Phil from when we had him on the podcast? Yeah. Welcome in, Phil. How are we doing tonight, my friend?
We're good. I picked Michigan too, so I'm feeling pretty good. I didn't. I'm lying. I should preface that by saying I actually can't do any of that stuff because I do work at an athletic department. So, so I can't put anything with any prize money or prizes. Can't participate in. So,
and then Brady, did I tell you my wife, who's never done a March Madness bracket, she picked Michigan.
Of course,
absolutely. Wiped the floor with me. So now she had bragging rights for like the next year. So.
That is, I'll just be honest. That is so I'm happy for her, but that is just so disheartening.
I know. Because, I was like, I got to stick to weather. That's it.
I know. You do so much research, and then and then that happens. So.
It's the school with the best colors or the best mascot always wins.
No, it's my mom actually did a bracket. She beat me in the bracket, and it was disheartening because she asked me what was the logo of the team that won. She was like, what color were their uniforms? And I was like, Mom, like, did you even watch the game? Do you even know who you picked? She was like, no, I know the team that I picked had yellow uniforms. And I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm never doing this again, ever. I'm not doing it. But
That's funny. That's funny.
Well, Matt, we're here talking, and Josh Morgan's going to be joining us here shortly as well. We're here talking about the super El Niño, as the late Chris Farley used to say, and what the impact this could be on hurricane season. Matt, you real quick, like, I don't know how much you've looked at these models lately, but what's your take on the upcoming potential El Niño? First of all, what is an El Niño for the people in chat who may have zero clue?
The thing that I love is all the adjectives that we've called the potential. I've seen like extreme El Nino, super El Nino, Godzilla El Nino. I mean, I've seen everything. So what it is we basically take the temperature for a part of the Pacific, the sea surface temperatures, and when that sliver, as you see on the screen, is warmer than average, that is defined as an El Nino. Now, the opposite, and no offense to La Nina, but we really don't like her. That's when the water temperatures are cooler than average. But it looks like as we go deeper into the late spring, the summer, and especially the fall looks to be the peak and the pinnacle. That is when we could see a strong to even a super El Nino, where those sea surface temperatures, the anomaly or the amount above average, they could be up there. I mean, it could be in the top 5 since 1950. And, taking you back into history, the greatest El Nino that we've ever had in at least measurable modern times was December of 2015. So roughly 10 years ago. And that was 2.8 degrees Celsius above average. I mean, we have some computer models, not all, but some that have it rivaling that number or maybe even going above it. Now, what I've been broadcasting so far has been a very conservative 2.0, but some models show it above that. So we'll have to see. And, Brady, that has implications for so many things. I mean, these water temperatures have the ability to alter weather patterns and weather dynamics across the Pacific, across the Atlantic, the United States, and the world. It impacts our hurricane season, and also, especially where I'm at in the state of Florida, it impacts our severe weather season during the late fall and winter.
Yeah, it is. Guys, what we're showing here on the screen, I was kind of flipping through a couple of things. And Josh, I do see Josh is backstage. So Josh, we're going to bring you in. And just 1 second here. But what I'm showing right now on the screen, this is the European seasonal. So the European model puts that at what? Josh Morgan just subscribed. Josh, are you kidding me? You just subscribed to the channel. We're going to bring him in right now. Caught Josh red-handed. Josh, you weren't subscribed. Hey. What?
I'm very embarrassed. I was hoping that was going to go under the radar.
yeah, right. I get a subscribe every time someone subscribes. That pops off. Oh, mama, Josh. Oh, man. Well, you know what, Josh? We will forgive you here because you've joined the stream from a conference. Josh, where are you? Are you at a hotel conference right now?
I know where he is. I know where he is.
Yeah. Oh no. Someone clipped that.
He's got hotel Wi-Fi.
Someone screenshot that. That's going to be our emote for Josh. Someone in chat screenshot this.
I'm going to take a wild guess. He's in South Texas. He's got to be.
Oh, yeah. I think he's at the Hurricane Conference. By the way, Matt and Josh, the chat is going to be making probably you into memes. They love to do that in our Discord. So just full heads up. That's just going to happen. And it's unfortunate. Our chat is ruthless. So
that's funny.
That will be made into a meme. Absolutely.
I gotta make my way to South Texas. That's a great conference. I did it a few years back. It was like my experiences during Ian in 2022, and oh man, just the group of meteorologists, It's fun, good times. If you guys ever have the chance, it's a great conference. And then that's when they issue the hurricane season forecast, and that will be issued tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I no doubt this, this discussion about El Nino is going to have a, significant bearing in that forecast because guys, what we're showing on the screen here, this is your sea surface temperatures, and the red is warm, right? The red is warmer than normal. And like Matt was saying, anytime you see this big blob, guys, it almost looks like a lightsaber, right? And it's coming off of the coast of, that's the best analogy I can think of there. It's like a lightsaber coming off of South America there. That is your classic El Nino. And, Matt, when we see values that are this high, it's that could be record breaking.
It could be. I mean, again, I was putting out on social a very conservative 2 degrees Celsius above the average, but I mean, we got some models, they're spitting out some pretty crazy numbers, 2.5, even 3. I mean, we'll see. But the implications of that going into hurricane season, Brady, I did some statistical analysis, and since 1950, okay, so in an El Nino, the average of all the El Niños since 1950, the number of named storms was about 12. Now you compare that to a La Nina, it's 16. So it just shows you the difference in what those water temperatures can do to our Atlantic hurricane season.
Yeah. And let's kind of so we kind of talk about this, guys. Let's kind of dig further into the official prediction here. So, what we just showed was a potential solution, right? It was the European seasonal. That's one model, right? I mean, Matt, there are other models that are showing not as extreme of scenario, but I think they're all, a lot of them are showing that a very high chance of going into an El Nino. And we saw, guys, just as a reminder too, to show everyone where we were, right? This past winter, we were in a La Nina, right? Which that helped, that's where the waters are cooler than normal. El Nino is warmer, red. La Nina, which, is a little bit less exciting here, unless you're in winter, is in the blue, right? That's when the ocean temperatures are cooler than normal. So this was past October, where we went into winter. You saw all those videos talking about big time snow. There was going to be big time snow, and that was because we had that La Nina pattern. So as we go into the summer, watch how the La Nina here completely disappears. And now we're at the neutral state. That's that, kind of that white blob of water. The water is still warm. It's not like it's not warm. It's just average. So now we're in the neutral phase. And sometimes when you swing from a La Nina to an El Nino, to neutral, sometimes you can swing all the way to a El Nino. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. It looks like Josh has rejoined us here. Josh, we're welcoming in Josh Morgerman back to the stream. Josh, I'm going to be honest. The chat is already making memes of you in our Discord.
No.
It's not going to be good, my friend. It's not going to be good.
I'm gonna hang up if this continues.
It's too late. It's too late. Josh, I want your opinion, because we were kind of texting and talking about La Nina, El Nino, all that good stuff, and the fact that we're going into a El Nino. What are your thoughts at this point? Is there any like chance that we could be getting it wrong? The Climate Prediction Center is getting it wrong with this?
No, I think they're right about the El Nino. I think that's irrefutable. But I do think that in general, folks tend to sort of overplay the El Nino factor in terms of our hurricane seasons. Some of the worst hurricanes in American history happened in El Nino years. For example, Hurricane Andrew, Category 5, that wiped out the suburbs south of Miami. That was an El Nino year. So
I had that ready, Josh. I had that ready.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize that I took that from you. But the other thing, though, is that I think it, the impacts, I feel like the Gulf, I always think of the Gulf as its own little sort of world. And I feel that the El Ninos tend to have less impact on Gulf activity. So it's the kind of year where I'm going to be really looking at the sort of like the sort of home brews, That's something I always keep an eye on in El Nino years.
Yeah. So guys, I think it, and Phil, I'll go over to you, right? And in your opinion, when you hear, help us be like the chat almost, right? Do you think the average person understands, El Nino, La Nina? Do you think they have any clue what people are talking about when they say that? Or do they just think of Chris Farley, El Nino?
Well, I think number one, Chris Farley is dating some of us as far as that skit. But I would also say, the average person, I don't know if they're up on their Spanish quite as well as others. But I truthfully would think most people are familiar with El Nino, not La Nina.
Yeah.
I think they hear that more often. And whether that has to do with Chris Farley setting that up, I don't know. But I think more people are familiar with that. But I don't think they're aware of what happens during the transitions, right? Or even familiar that there's a neutral stage, that can transition between the two or jump into that and then jump back. I think that's still relatively unfamiliar concepts for most and even weather geeks. I think there's, and that's my opinion, but I think there's still some concept lost.
I think I agree with that. The chat, our chat, I just did a poll. Our chat, 66% of the chat said yes. Although I'm kind of doubting that chat. We might have to put that to a little bit of a quiz here. 18% said I am El Nino. So 9% said no, and then 7% said it is the Nino. So we're just going to say about 40% of the chat said no, and 66% said yes. Although, chat, I'm going to be honest. I know this chat. I am highly doubting that is, in fact, the thing here. So we've kind of talked about El Nino, La Nina. Here's kind of the difference between the two, right? You got this is kind of just for winter, but I think it does a good job. And Matt, I'll probably kick it back to you here of when we talk about El Nino, La Nina in the winter a lot. In the summer and fall, we don't talk about it as much except for hurricane season. What does it generally do for the jet stream for hurricane season and wind shear specifically for an El Nino?
Well, first off, hey Josh, I'll see you in June. Secondly,
wait, let's go. Oh, wait, are you going to the hurricane party, Matt?
I am.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to be there for sure.
Let's go.
The Cool Club identifies.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm excited. So coming up, especially here in Florida, when we hear of potentially a strong El Nino as we hit December, January, and February, what happens is we see that southern extent of the jet stream that works its way across the Gulf Coast and the state of Florida. And with that stronger wind aloft tapping into some energy, historically, we have seen, we're talking, over the years, the F2s and even EF2s, 3s and 4s across our state, they're oftentimes during those El Nino winters. So it's not, granted, we may benefit during the hurricane season, but for the Southeast and for the state of Florida, those winters are just, you always got to be on alert. It could be a very active, severe weather season. But like Josh had mentioned, and he's right on the money, it's not always about the number of storms. Yes, historically, we don't get as many named storms during El Nino years, but you can get occasionally those big ones. And not far from where Josh is at, another notorious hurricane. We can't forget about it. It's, sketched in the record books. Camille in 1969, that was an El Nino year as well. So you got to watch out for those rogue, powerful ones. And I know the averages might be in our favor for El Nino years, but that doesn't mean you're immune from occasionally getting those big storms.
Yeah, and what we're showing her here is Camille and Josh. Guess where it is? It's in the Gulf.
Yep.
We talk about the Gulf could be troublesome here. As the wind shear, guys. Generally, you have higher wind shear. I just want to show this real quick. I know this is not an exact, right? This is just kind of an example. This is just a GFS model, right? But I couldn't really find a graphic that fit this. But here's your wind shear, guys. And normally during hurricane season, this pocket of wind shear kind of sits over top of the main development region. You've got more wind shear, and then you've also got more wind shear here down in the Caribbean, and it tends to kind of push storms like this, or if it does get into the Gulf, it can kind of sometimes shred those storms. And so that's why your storms generally, the amount of storms that you have goes down, because it's harder for these hurricanes to form, right? Hurricanes are, Josh, hurricanes are delicate things, right? They need a lot. Listen, I'll say it. They need a lot of things to kind of get together, and a lot of ingredients need to come together. And if one of those ingredients kind of falls apart, it's a problem. But and that's in this year, Josh. I think our wind shear could help us be in a little bit of a lull. And Josh, you kind of mentioned this previously. Do you think that this is like maybe the beginning of a little bit of a quiet period in the U.S., at least for U.S., because we've been very U.S. centric?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. You are correct. It's an important thing to point out that hurricanes are not just these big coarse heat engines. I think you on Twitter, a lot of folks, the kind of armchair experts, everyone thinks that the only ingredient that goes into making a hurricane is warm water. If you got warm water, bam, game on. And that's just not the case at all. As you pointed out, there's a lot of different ingredients need to come together, and one is a favorable upper air pattern, meaning no wind shear. And that's the main issue with an El Nino year, is that you're going to have that wind shear over the Atlantic, and that's why it slows things down, even if we're going to have a really warm, water. So you're absolutely right about that. In terms of whether we're going into a quiet period, that is a very good question. So if you look at, we have about 175 years of really good data about U.S. hurricane impacts. The official database goes back to 1851. And if you look, we have what are called like multi-decadal cycles, where we have basically periods of time that are 10 to 40 years where either the U.S. is just getting slammed again and again, or it's having periods where it's kind of getting off easy. So the last 10 years have been crazy. The 10 years before that, we had a record lull. We had no major hurricanes hitting the U.S. from 2006 to 2016, record period. And then 2017 to last year, a record number of category 4 and 5 hurricanes. So it shows you how sort of bipolar things are.
Including this one, Josh. Including this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, look at that. I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive, but that's like nature's art right there. So question is, are we going to a slow period? I think it's premature to say that. I think that even if we're just kind of maybe having a little hitch here, last year nothing happened, to the U.S. because everything was a little further east. This year we might be having an El Nino. I don't think that means we're necessarily out of this long-term busy phase. Sorry to be so long-winded in my answer.
No, you're crushing it, Josh. I think it's a good point. It's all about, guys. Someone in chat, Big Rig just asked, are we in a quiet period? Do we think we're going to be active early? Matt, I don't think we know yet. I don't think we know yet what the pattern is going to be like, but I think just from an El Nino perspective, we know that one of the dominoes is falling, right? One of the trends that gives us an idea, okay, here's over the long term, here's the average, of how many storms we're going to get. One of those trends has pointed down, but there's plenty of other trends. And like we're showing with Camille and like we showed with Andrew, all it takes is one storm and to define a season.
And even, if you want to Wikipedia this real quick, I mean, Betsy in 1965 was also an example of a powerful El Nino hurricane. I mean, what it did to Louisiana, I mean, it was significant. Like Josh was saying, during those El Nino years, you get the wind shear, but you also do get below average relative humidity levels in the Caribbean. So when you combine that together, it is amazing how I don't have a graphic. Yeah, there's Betsy. I don't have a graphic that can show you the difference, but it's amazing how the major hurricanes during El Nino years from like 1950 to now, it's amazing how there really is not much in the Caribbean and then the Bay of Campeche. And then when you stack that up to a La Nina, totally different. Now, I will caution that yes, historically, El Nino years, you do have that below average amount of storms, but there occasionally are years that don't behave.
That is massive.
Yeah,
you just keep talking. Okay.
yeah. I don't know what the hell that was, but yeah, no, but
someone just gifted memberships. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was that. That cat, that was my face when I heard that.
Wow.
And then you have, it's crazy though, guys. You have other years that I know that you have, you'll have El Nino years that don't behave like El Nino years. So, like, for example, 1969 with the Camille year, that had a well above average amount of storms, and that was technically El Nino. And then in 2004, that was technically an El Nino year, but it was a unique type of El Nino, and that was the year that Florida got hit with Charlie, Gene, Francis, and then we also had Ivan. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that not every El Nino year is created equal. So we're going to have to see how things go.
Yeah. And I'm actually curious, guys. I haven't checked this. I know this is a little probably too soon, but I'm curious what the sea surface temperatures are like, because we talk about that, Josh, as being a factor, and I know it's probably a little bit early to be looking at this. In terms of anomalies, right? This is going to change. But I mean, so far, Josh, it seems like the Gulf, which is where you mentioned and where we've seen explosive development in the past, couple of years. Ian, Irma, I just to name a few, and then Melissa. What is your take on this in terms of the conditions?
Yeah, I mean, it is not too early to look at the anomalies. I actually, this time of year, I'm all over them because I think they do give a clue to what might happen. So the Gulf always supports hurricane activity, but definitely some years it's like, jet fuel. What's interesting about the anomalies right now, as you were showing, is that there's a lot of warmth like along the coast, which creates that scary situation. It's the forecaster's worst nightmare. And I'm not a forecaster, of course, I'm a chaser, but I know that a forecaster's biggest nightmare is the hurricanes that bomb out right as they're getting near the coast, like unexpectedly. And when you have that warm water right offshore, it creates that additional risk, which is really interesting. It's funny, we had in the mid 2000s, from the 90s to the 2000s, we had a string of we had like a series of north moving major hurricanes approaching the US Gulf Coast that all unraveled as they approached. Lily 2002, Ivan 2004, Katrina 2005, big disaster, but actually weakened significantly as it came in. It just happened again and again, and it became this ironclad rule in people's minds that north moving hurricanes in the Gulf always weaken before landfall. And then we learned a big lesson in the last decade that is not the case. For example, Michael, which bombed out and became a 5 right as it was coming in. And there are many other examples like Laura, Ida. I mean, we've had all these intense North Gulf Coast landfalls. So getting back to those anomalies, I think that warm water right offshore increases the risk of that kind of thing happening.
Yeah. And Josh and Matt, I was actually curious to see, because I haven't really paid attention. These anomalies actually make sense. And Matt, as being a Florida resident, why we've had some anomalies in February with those insane cold outbreaks that we had down there. The whole country was feeling that, really. I mean, Josh, I'm sure you felt it in Mississippi at the Hurricane House. You were freezing down there. But else than that anomaly, right? The temperatures for almost the past year. I mean, this is back to June 3rd, right? From June 3rd all the way through hurricane season. And then even in the winter, except, when we had those cold outbreaks, right? This is in February, our Gulf temperatures have been above normal, which is one of the reasons why we've seen, some of these storms, Ian, Irma, all of these, Michael, all of these storms in the past 10 years just explode in the Gulf. That's one of the reasons.
Well, and, one of the things I caution with, I'll sometimes have, like during January and February, when we do get those cold snaps, I'll have I'll have some followers say, "Oh, this is awesome for hurricane season. This is great," and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to stick around because, like, for example, off of the Florida West Coast, the Gulf is shallow, like relatively shallow compared to other parts of, let's say the Atlantic, the Caribbean. Like, for example, off of my coast, you go 100 miles offshore or even 30 miles offshore, it's only 100 feet deep. So that water can cool down quickly, but it also can rebound and heat up just as fast. So, I oftentimes will caution when they get excited about, oh, look at how much cooler it is for January and February. I say, well, that doesn't mean it's going to be the case a couple months from now. And if you get a couple, ridges of high pressure that set up shop across the deep South in Florida, man, those temperatures can really go up across the Gulf. So I always caution that several months out.
Yeah. Guys, it is fascinating. I think, and I think, Matt, you said the official hurricane forecast. When does that come out? Is that in a couple days?
I mean, Josh could tell you. He's going to see it tomorrow, right?
Well, yeah.
You see it live, Josh?
So the gold standard, is the Colorado State University one with Dr. Phil Klotzbach. He inherited it from Dr. Gray. That is I said premiering like it's entertainment. That is being released. We're so theatrical in the weather community. So
we have to be. We have to be, Josh.
Well,
we have to be
theatrical.
Come on.
You're the action movie star of weather. So that forecast, which is eagerly awaited, comes out tomorrow morning.
Wow.
And I'm eagerly awaiting it.
Wow. Does it come out like it's not at the conference? Are they presenting it at the conference?
No. Actually, Dr. Klotzbach, or just Phil, I'll call him. I don't know why I'm getting so fancy here. Putting on airs. He uses. I'm actually in Texas right now at the National Tropical Weather Conference, and every year Phil sort of officially announces it with a big presentation at this conference. And so he's doing it tomorrow. And the press releases are going to go out and all the news agencies are going to bug out about it. It's like a big deal. And he does it here on South Padre Island, Texas at the National Tropical Weather Conference.
Wow.
And that's what we're going to know.
We never hear about that. Phil, we got to go to that next year. I mean, come on. We got to put that in the budget. Let's go.
Hey, that's been going on for a while, and it's hot stuff.
That's how I met Josh. That was my first time meeting Josh. Was at that conference a few years back. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh no, Josh is on mute. Oh no. And speaking of Josh, guys, I think everyone should get their own Josh sticker here. Josh, you got to turn this into a sticker, my friend. You even got the white background too. That would be absolutely perfect. Put that on a sticker. Hurricane Man on the bottom. I mean, the chat would love it. Chat, you
gotta put his Jamaican name right next to it after what he did during Melissa.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Josh, is your mic muted? Oh no. Josh, try to sign to us. Give us some sign language.
He looks pissed off.
Wave your hands if you can hear us, Josh.
He's like, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Give us the thumbs up. Oh, no. It's not good. That's not good. Josh, try it again.
I'm speaking.
There we go.
You can hear me?
Oh, mama. We got him back. We got him back.
Okay.
You're back.
All right, good. I was just admiring my likeness on that screen.
Yeah, you should.
And I'm a narcissist. I want 50 of those stickers.
You are. And you should get those. I agree with you 100%.
Oh my God. Bill doesn't hold back.
Matt, we got to make
you look good. Well. You look good, man. You got to take pride in that. That's good.
Chat. Someone in chat right now, go into our Discord and make Matt and Josh a sticker that we can send them.
Hey, I don't have the physique like Josh, so I don't know. I'm not going to be in high demand. Sorry.
Matt, you don't need the physique. You just need to strike a pose. Like, I don't have the physique either, but I'm just, you kind of suck in and you can do a point. You can do put your hands in the air. Just, you got to draw attention away.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
I was in I was in especially good shape then. That was when we were filming Hurricane Man, and I had 6 months to get ready, and I like really, I like got into peak shape, like every vain TV personality for that show, so that I looked good in stills like that.
It worked. It worked, brother.
It does work. All right. Well, guys, Phil or Stu, any points? Stu, we haven't really talked to you yet. Anything that catches your attention on this El Nino, or any questions you have for Matt or Josh here?
So I know we've been talking a lot about hurricanes, just because that's kind of our main focus point. Hurricane season is coming up, but also we've got severe weather to pay attention to as well. And I know that El Nino can definitely influence, or severe weather a lot. It can lead to increased amount of tornadoes. It can lead to a later severe weather season as well. So we have severe weather going into the winter months as well. So I don't know if you guys want to touch on that a little bit, because I know that troughing significantly increases under El Nino years, and we see a very big uptick in severe weather activity.
Yeah, that is the interesting thing there. Wow, Josh has got a squeaky chair. We heard Josh's chair. That hotel chair seemed like it was completely metal, by the way. But you heard it again.
You guys, I can't get anything past you guys. You're like
you can't.
Like a bunch of wise guys here.
I know. Not on this show. This chat catches everything. Okay, trust me. I know. They were pinging me like, what's the squeak going on? But Stu and Matt, let me talk with you about this. So we talk about severe weather season, El Nino, right? You kind of hit on the Florida impacts of an El Nino. It can extend tornado season well into June. We get that jet stream, right? We looked at this. We looked at this image earlier. We talked about the El Nino winters, but also in the summer too. It can cause that that jet stream to hang around further on the plains, and then we all know what happens when the jet stream hangs around further. You could have more severe weather seasons. So kind of talk to us a little bit from your perspective. How is El Nino affected the winters in Florida and the severe weather in general?
Well, right now, in plain English, it is dry as hell in the state. I mean, we're having our worst drought in 25 years. So the extension of the subtropical jet over Florida, essentially that storm track, the jet stream, helps to bring in more rain. The problem is, every now and then, if you get the right setup, you can get these powerful lows during the late fall and winter that can bring that warm sector right on top of the sunshine state, and we can get some, we can get supercells, and we can get squall lines that move through. And like I said, I mean, over the years, a big tornado year for the state of Florida, and it was El Nino influence, was in 1998. I mean, we had EF3s, EF4s. I mean, back then, F3 and F4s, but so you can't let your guard down with some of those setups. I mean, they can be particularly nasty because of the influence of the subtropical jet as it works its way across the state. So yeah, the positive, you get the rain. The downside is you can get that stronger wind aloft, and there it is. And a true story, hopefully I don't give away my age on this. I remember those tornadoes in 1998. I believe one of them was near Kissimmee. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
And I remember that one to this day, and it was scary as hell because I was in Brevard County, which is the one, that's where Kennedy Space Center is, Melbourne, Cocoa Beach. I was living just to the right and just east of that line that you see, and that was a scary night. I'll never forget it. So it can be pretty rough during those El Nino winters.
Yeah, and what we're showing, guys, this is from 1998. So this is just an example. I'm pretty sure the 90s had some pretty big El Ninos. And of course that fueled the Chris Farley skits. But this was a tornado outbreak that happened in February. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, that's EF3, or I guess F3 at the time, which is to have in Florida, that's a big deal, right? You can get strong tornadoes in Florida, but they're not, you don't see them like you do in Oklahoma. But during El Nino years, that can happen. And Josh, we talk about we talk about tornadoes. I don't know if it gets, the little spinny things, if it gets tickles the fancy a little bit, but I don't know.
I mean, like, I'll be honest. I'm going to make a confession here, but it doesn't leave this room. I will.
And there's 165 people watching. You can't tell anyone, chat. You can't. Wait, Phil, you can't just leave. You have to say goodbye first. Go ahead, Josh.
I will occasionally, late at night, not on my work laptop, but the other one, I will occasionally look at a tornado video.
Wow. Now, does it?
Whoa!
Yeah, I know.
And I might even get excited, just like
we got to cut that. Like, you got to trim that,
illegal.
Brady. We got to post that. Holy cow! That can't stay quiet.
No,
I heard it. I heard it, Josh.
The Hurricane Man looking at tornadoes.
Woo!
Wow. That now, does it have to be a certain strength, Josh? Like, if it's just a little sky noodle, is it?
I'll tell you the kind of little spinny thing videos that like that get me excited. I'm sharing my darkest fantasies here.
Careful.
What's your fantasy?
Oh, clip this, chat. Clip it.
Careful.
I'll be honest, and I hate to say this because it's politically incorrect, but I like the 0 meter action where they're right in it. I like those videos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I said it.
It's okay. The chat likes the 0 meters as well, I think. I preferably probably would like to be a little bit further away, because even if you're in the Dominator, I mean, let's be honest, that you're going to be probably fine, but even the Dominator isn't invincible. You get a strong tornado.
Brady.
In all seriousness, just to be really serious, what I find interesting about when they're that close up is you can see all the stuff, the dynamics inside of it, the little mess of vortices, the complexity. You can't see all that stuff from far away. So I do actually find those videos interesting, to be very serious for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, would you go into a tornado? Would you drive into one?
Yes, maybe.
I knew he was going to say
I
yes.
would have called that.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Matt. I would have called that one too.
I take it back.
No way, guys. We're breaking so much news here. The Hurricane Man likes tornadoes. Super El Nino.
Sacrilegious.
What could be next, Matt? Matt, you got any news to break here?
Yeah, you want to know mine?
Yeah.
I've never seen a tornado in person, and I cover them for a living.
Brady has seen more tornadoes than you now.
No,
you're half
tornado.
His half beats your 0.
No.
Simple math.
I've seen 3 funnel clouds, but I've never seen a tornado in my entire life ever.
Wait. That counts. You've seen 1.5.
Yeah.
You've seen 1.5. That's how it works. You've seen a tornado and a half.
I told myself the next high risk, wherever it is, I'm going to fly out. That's it. Rent a car, hopefully not destroy it. And I'm going to go hopefully see myself a tornado. I don't care if it's a danger noodle or something big. I just want to see one tornado and then I can check off the box. So, we'll see.
You know what? Josh, you're going to have to go with Brother Matt. We could do 2 hurricane, that would be pretty unbelievable.
I'm cool with that.
Now, who would drive, though? Would Josh drive? Because if Josh is driving, he's going to be driving into it, Matt, which, that could be a problem.
Yeah, well, we'll be 1,000 feet in the air if that's the case.
Nice. That's a good way to go. What a thrill.
That's funny.
All
right. Hey, I'm heading out. Brady, you're the best, man. Thanks for what you do. And Stu, good to see you again. Matt, this isn't the time or place, but I do want to find out more about what you're doing and how you expect to use the new platform you're on as you're covering hurricanes this coming season. And Josh, brother, good to see you again. Love you.
Hey, good seeing you.
Nice.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Phil. Yeah, Matt, that's actually a great question by Phil. Without getting too much into the details of where you're going, how has it been? Kind of covering and off on your own, Facebook and everything. I know you finally got your Facebook back. How has that process been?
Very interesting. I don't know how much you've heard, but I've had a little I guess you could say complications over the past several weeks, but I'm excited for the future and I'm looking forward to it. And what's cool is now I get to be my own boss. So, I'm going to be creating an app, a 24/7 weather channel, a website, all of that is going to be in the works. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
Wow, man! I had no idea you had all that in the works. That sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like you're building a weather empire. That sounds really cool. I wanna like talk offline and find out more about this.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, it's just the reason why I want to do this, and he's sleeping right now in the other room, is with my former job. So many of doing what I love, and I get to see my kids more. So that's what I want. That's the dream. That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, and Matt, I don't know if I can bring it up, but the with what Wink is doing, I mean, you don't have to comment, you don't have to say anything, guys. They are Wink is. Listen, I used to be a Florida, or sorry, I still am a Florida. I normally go down to Florida a lot. They are suing Matt. They guys. This is insane. Okay, this is absolutely crazy. This is a local news station, right? Which everyone knows, local news is kind of.
I'm gonna take it that Josh didn't know.
I'm like, I missed this.
Josh.
Like, what planet are we on? Like,
yeah.
It's been an insane. I mean, it's been an insane couple months here for brother Matt. And Matt, you can talk as much more about it. I don't know. Yeah.
And that's been a lot of people want me to comment on it and what to say. I mean, I've had a lot of people ask, and legally I can't. But the only thing I'm going to say is that I'm looking forward to my day in court.
Yes.
That is the only thing I'm going to say. I am looking very forward to my day in court, and it's coming, and it will. And then that way, I think it can shed even more light on the topic. So, I just want to get back doing to what 100%. I love, but yeah, it's that's what I've kind of been dealing with, and thankfully, I tell you, I got my amazing wife, and she's been awesome support. But yeah, I as much as I would love to like tell you everything, I legally can't. So
yeah, for guys, my opinion does not reflect Matt's opinion or anyone else's opinion. So, but I'll just be honest, guys. What Wink is doing is literally the worst. Okay, you have a local news channel, and everyone knows that local news is kind of. I don't want to say declining, but it's on the down, right? It's on the downspin, right? Everyone's getting their news from. They still a lot of people still watch local news. Like, it's not going away, but the golden age of TV, of local news, is kind of gone. It's come and gone, and now we have YouTube, we have Twitter, we have all the social media sites. We've got a bunch of podcasts, a bunch of different ways to get our information. So we've kind of fractured the industry, and in that market, right, local news. The weather guys like Matt, pros like Matt, Matt's got 1.2 million followers on Facebook. I'm pretty sure that's more than Wink News combined, right? So Matt, who is the only reason why a lot of people watch this news station, he was the only reason why I watched Wink News in Florida, right? He is the only reason why I watch Wink News. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. I didn't watch it for anything else. And they let Matt go just out of the blue without even giving him any warning. And then they sued him because he wanted to get his Facebook back, basically. They sued him because he went and told the truth about how they let him go and how little notice they gave him and how the reason that they gave, it was awful. And it was just terrible. And Then people went to Facebook, people went to social media, and were saying, we're never watching Wink again. This is so wrong. And now, because Wink is getting so much negative feedback for what they did, for firing an unbelievable meteorologist that is, an expert across the industry that so many people loved and used as a resource, they fired him, and now they're suing him because he told the truth of how it went down.
I will say that, despite all of this, I would like to take the high road and just say that, I wish them the very best. And,
Sorry.
they do have, I worked with a lot of good people over the years, on the weather team and the news team. And there's a lot of good people that work there.
For sure.
And I'll take the high. Of course, there's a lot I'd love to say, but I would like to wish them the very best, and we will see how things go the next several months.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, he can take the high road. I'm not. So this is
Right.
my opinion. This is not Matt's opinion. For anyone watching, this is my opinion and my opinion alone. I mean, Josh, you've heard the story here. I mean, it's insane.
No, I'll be honest. I'm glad that you went there. Even I know Matt can't say a word, but I'm glad you did. I mean, Matt, I knew you'd left, but I didn't know all this was going down, and I was not aware of that like the lawsuit. I'm speechless. I'm literally I'm speechless, and whoever handles publicity and communications there should be fired for so mismanaging this. This is the equivalent of a brand stepping on the rake and having it smash their teeth in.
They lost the day that this happened. They lost thousands and thousands of followers, which that's a hard thing to do. That is a very hard thing to do, to lose how many followers they did. And Matt, you don't have to comment at all. It's a use case that every news station across the country, you should pay attention. This is how not to do it and how to literally tank your station.
No, this should be like in broadcast, curriculum at colleges around the country. They should use this as a case study for how to dynamite your brand.
100%.
Yeah. I would like to wish Wink News the very best and good luck going forward.
Bam! Drop the mic.
Oh my gosh. Chat, everyone spam L Wink News in chat right now. Spam L Wink in chat. Let's get L Wink going in the chat here. Like Matt said, there's plenty of great people that work there. Greg and all the other meteorologists that work there, and it was a good station, but just Josh is putting on the glasses. It's just, this is not how you treat your people. You got to treat your people right. And when you don't, and then this happens, and then you just keep going, it's like, just give it a rest. You've already lost. Stop trying to lose even more. It's not going to work. Oh, they literally united the entire weather and Florida world against them. No one will ever trust them again. So, man. All right.
Going back, going back, Brady, I mean, there was a time where, and I don't know if it's still in the cards, that you want to get into TV, right?
Yes. Yeah. I actually, out of college, I had an offer to go be a chief meteorologist in Lime, Ohio, but it was a medium, it was like a low to medium sized market. But do you guys know, Matt, did you know Chris Bradley, the late Chris Bradley? He was in Columbus.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Yeah, he was kind of like my mentor. Unfortunately, he passed away from cancer. But he was basically telling me, hey, the industry is going in a way that you don't want it to go. And you could be out of a job in 5 or 10 years. And this was about 10 years ago. But he was essentially saying, hey, go pursue some different area of weather, or go do something else and kind of wait for the industry to change. And so that was what I did, and instead of taking that job. But And you know, I look back on it and I think the industry has changed so much. I think I'm glad I made that decision, but I also wish I would have gotten into weather sooner because there was the late 2000s. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
But guys, I'm telling you, I can't say who and how many, but the past several months, the amount of meteorologists that are on TV right now that are leaving the business and starting their own thing, I think it's going to surprise you guys. I mean, we're talking big names. And I just heard today, what's his name? Josh Johnson. He's in Northern Alabama. I could be butchering this, but I believe he just decided to leave. He's been a staple in that market for a long time. I believe he's leaving, and I don't know what he's doing, but I think he's maybe doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And then I know of some other major market, either chiefs or big names that in the next year they're gone. They want to do their own thing. So I would not be surprised if you guys start hearing some. I think this is a new tide that's going to start to really take over. That there's going to be a lot of independent weather sources.
Yeah. I mean, we're already seeing it with Ryan and Max. They kind of started a trend. You know, we might have to have a Josh Morgerman TV, you know, Josh Morgerman Hurricane TV, 24 hours of Josh. I listen, you know, we got the Matt Devitt Weather Network. I'm just telling you guys, I'm telling you, it's got a nice ring to it. And I think that's what, because people ultimately follow people for the people, right? Yeah. They follow them because they trust that person. They like that person. They're likable. And both, you know, everyone on this show, very likable, great people. So you guys got that in spades. But it's also the trust component too. And you guys have that as well. And so when you combine the two, that's, I think, why people follow. So wherever, you know, we're kind of just meeting people where they're at. And everyone's digital these days, right?
I do agree with that, and it's funny you say that because I was thinking about this recently. Someone asked me if I was worried about the rise of AI and AI video, and I said no, the opposite. I think that folks online are craving authentic, real content from sources they trust because it's all a hall of mirrors with all this AI stuff and crazy like AI personalities that talk and all this stuff. And when they have people like the folks in this chat who they know and trust, it's like those become islands of sort of reality and human connection that I think people are really craving right now. Yeah,
I agree. I completely agree. And I think, you know, we're going to see this industry change. And this wasn't a topic I planned to discuss, but it's actually a great topic. And it is, it's needed right now. And, you know, I think it'll be very interesting to see where the industry goes. We've got, you know, a couple hundred people watching us right now. And a couple years ago, I wouldn't have dreamed of that. So it just shows how things have switched. And now people are online watching weather content in a different format. But Josh, I got a question. Do you have to run or do you have time? Because I do want to talk about Hurricane Melissa, but I want to figure out.
I'm always ready to talk about Melissa.
Brady, hey Brady, I do have to piece that. I gotta tuck my little one into bed. So Josh, I will see you in June. And hey, it's been real, guys. Thanks for the invite. And with the other thing, I'll keep you posted. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Matt, thank you for joining us. I'll see you in June as well. We're gonna make a hurricane. We're gonna make a sticker for you as well. The chat's gonna make a sticker. We're gonna put them all over Josh's house. Just plaster the walls. With the stickers. Matt, thank you for joining us, my friend. And go give Matt a follow on social media. Go follow him on Facebook, Twitter. Matt, where are you at on? What's your username on?
It's social media platforms? Matt Devitt Weather.
Fantastic, Matt. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Let's go.
WX_Chasin_Mason super chatted $10. I don't take high roads. Wink can eat my balloon knot.
What's a balloon knot? Oh no.
Oh no. That is not good. That is not good. Wow, by the way, that is one of our mods, by the way, that posted that. That is one for mods, and I don't even know what that is, so I feel like I shouldn't be. Josh, do you know what that is?
I have an idea, but like.
Oh no, that's not good. Okay, let's switch topics really fast here. So, I want to show you guys footage from Josh. So, I think we could do probably a 2-hour show on this. So maybe this is part 1, but I want to talk to brother Josh, because chat right now, who in chat remembers Hurricane Melissa? Say yes in chat. If you don't remember Hurricane Melissa, say no, but then just be ready to be shamed, because this is one of the, Josh, this is one of the storms of the decade, if not, the past 30 years.
Oh, 100%. So when Melissa hit Jamaica, which is what you're showing there, the moment of landfall when the eye crossed the coast, the estimated sustained winds of 185, gusts well over 200. So that ties it for first place with Dorian of 2019 and the Labor Day hurricane of 1935 in Florida as the strongest known hurricane landfall in North America ever. So this thing was like not just Category 5, but high-end Category 5.
Wilson 016 super chatted $9.99. Happy Wednesday,
sorry,
Grady and
Josh.
Chatter mods. Let's go.
Let's go.
W for Wilson. It started. I just got to do a PSA here. When the chat starts the text to speech, it's a bit of a problem here. So
totally
we will hope for the best here. Hope for the best.
I like seeing those donations coming in, so it's good.
Yeah. Keep going.
No, just I was actually finishing up. It was like, this is as strong as they get. This was not just a Category 5 landfall, but high-end Category 5. This is like a whole other level, and I'm telling you, it was crazy.
And guys, coming from Hurricane Man, right? Coming from Josh, who literally only chases the strongest storms on the planet. A Category 1 hurricane doesn't really do it for you, does it, Josh?
I'll be honest, actually, I'm so into hurricanes that even like a nice little Category 1 that's got a nice little tight core and it's rapidly intensifying as it comes in, I could kind of still get into that. But definitely, my addiction has sort of caused me to go after the really hard drugs like Melissa.
So you describe it as an addiction. That is.
I own it.
It's awesome.
I totally own it, and it is. And I'm telling you, there are times, I've been in 84 hurricane cores, which is a world record. No one dead or alive has been in more hurricanes on the ground. And that's partly, it's driven by a few things. One is that I'm fascinated by hurricanes. Part of it is that I'm very competitive, and I'm like, I want to make sure that I have been in so many by the time I die that no one can ever catch up. And then
wow.
3 is that there is an addictive quality. There are times, I'm being totally honest here, like it's usually late in the season after I've gone on a bunch of chases and I'm a little tired, and then there's something else spins up and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to chase it. I don't want to go. I feel like almost like hungover from the other chases, but I go after it anyway. Wow. And I hate myself for doing it, but it's like, I can't help it. So
wow.
Yeah, it's sick.
Josh, do you know who's in second, by the way, behind you?
Yeah. My very good friend, James Reynolds. He's a British dude who lives in Tokyo because his wife's Japanese, and he is like the typhoon guy, and he's like the second behind me.
Yeah.
And he has a ton because he's very, very prolific, mostly in the Western Pacific, but he's chased in other continents as well. And
so you're like the Michael Jordan, and he's like the Scottie Pippen. Was that a good little analogy?
That's maybe one way of putting it. But he and I we're very good friends. We despite I'm very competitive, but this is a growing process for me to learn how to be friendly with competitors, because I'm so competitive that I had to learn that. I know it's really good though, but we have a great friendship, and I think one of the reasons that we're good friends is because it's a kind of a crazy lifestyle, hunting hurricanes around the globe. It's a unique kind of lifestyle. It comes with a whole set of challenges, physical and emotional. And it's like therapeutic. We didn't talk for a while, and we were kind of estranged. And then when we reconnected, it was so awesome because I'm like, wow, we really need each other, because we kind of help each other through the ups and the downs of this lifestyle. And it, and I don't mean to say, oh, it's like it's a hard lifestyle. I love it. I chose it. I like being a professional adventurer, but there are dark days.
It's a hard lifestyle. I mean, when you're in the core of a Category 5 hurricane, and then, I mean, that is one of the most dangerous places to be on Earth, is at the center of a Category 5 hurricane. And then after, for a week plus, when half the internet isn't even sure if you're alive, and you're literally no power, probably not very much clean water, and that is not comfortable. Not even close.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, after some of these big hurricanes I've been in, like Dorian in the Bahamas and other Category 5, like Melissa in Jamaica, these really intense, catastrophic hurricanes in developing island nations, I've been trapped in these impact zones for many days afterward. After Dorian, I was living in my car. The car didn't blow away. The one next to mine just blew away. It just disappeared, but mine didn't, and I lived in it. It was my home for several days. And in Jamaica, I was there for the better part of a week, without plumbing or electricity or power. But that's I treat that those aftermath experiences are tough, but that's part of this sport. Every time, after one of those big events and I'm stuck there and I start to get a little kind of anxious or whatever, kind of my tough side yells at my weaker side and says, you want it to be a big hotshot and go after a Category 5 hurricane on a little Caribbean island? This is part of it. Deal with it or don't do it. And then I'm like, all right, that's cool, that's right. And then I'm just
so you're trash talking yourself.
Yeah,
you're literally like, you know what? Toughen up. Let's go, Buttercup.
It helps me though to do that. And then after I give myself that pep talk, I'm like, yeah, it's like, you want to hunt, you want to be a big shot and do this. This is part of it. And either if you're not cool with it, don't do it. And so I decided that, for me to hunt down these top specimens like a Melissa, literally the most intense hurricane that the Earth can create, and then to get inside it, to document it, to collect scientifically valuable data, that all makes it worth it to me. It makes the hardship worth it.
Yeah, it is, guys. It is incredibly fascinating because the psychology that goes into it. I mean, this is when you're chasing a storm like this. If you aren't, mentally prepared, if you aren't mentally locked in, like I like to say on this stream, locked in. If you're not locked in, you could literally get yourself killed because you're gonna second guess yourself. You'll put yourself in a dangerous situation, and one wrong move and you're toast. And Josh, I want to talk about the lead up here to Hurricane Melissa, because this story is one. I listened to you tell this story at the Chaser Summit, and it was unbelievable. And we're gonna kind of walk through this from the very beginning here. This was, I think this was. When did I put this tweet out? I put this tweet out. This was in October 20th of last year. We looked at Invest 98L. And Josh, I think, if you remember this, we talked about, hey, this is something that could happen. This is something that could be I think we had a pretty good idea at this point. There was going to be some sort of storm.
We did, but I'm going to be totally honest. I look back on my tweets and I started tweeting about it on the 16th. And I remember being very dismissive of it because it was not certain disturbances. They come off Africa and they have a look, they have it factor. And you're like, all right, that's going to be a nasty one. I didn't feel that way about this one. It actually looked like total garbage. And I remember, but the computer models were talking a big game about it. And I was very skeptical. And I remember just thinking, whatever. I'm kind of was trying to ignore it. And also, when something gets into the Caribbean and then you don't know where it's going to go, and chasing in the Caribbean is very complex because it's all these little islands. And then you have to decide, okay, which island, and the computer models were all over the place. Bottom line, I didn't see big potential in it, and I was not enthusiastic about the idea of going after it. So I was initially, I have to confess, very dismissive of it. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the tweet right now because I'm actually fascinated to find this. So I've got your tweets pulled up. Is it? Wait, what date would this have been around?
It would have been I think
October, right?
Yeah, it would have been October 16th was the date of the tweet. I remember because I looked back. I looked back to find it because I just remember just kind of like I was like, yeah, whatever about it. Let's see. Yeah,
Right here, enjoying a quiet night in the bay.
That's when I knew that was when I was just okay. This picture, I knew that I was just about to leave to go hunt the hurricane. It was my last quiet night at home in Bay St. Louis, which is very zen, as you can see in the background, except when it's getting a Category 5. But
are you getting a run in right now? Are we getting a beach workout right now?
What's that?
Are you getting a run in? Was this like a beach workout?
No.
Sleeveless tee on.
No, I was just taking a walk, showing off my musculature on the beach, but I wasn't actually working out specifically. Just sort of delighting the local fans. But I was trying to gear up because I knew by this point I was going to be going to the Caribbean and I was going to be hunting, and I knew I started to feel in my bones it was going to be an epic chase that was going to test me mentally and physically, and that I was not going to be home for a very long time. And all that ended up being true. I was on that island in Jamaica for like almost 2 weeks. It was like, wow. I came back a different person. Like it was kind of like, and that was right before. And I think I was.
Well, you came back a different person, but you were also like a national hero for Jamaica. I'm trying to find the tweet here. I think this is actually, hold on. This is on October 20th. You said you made it on October 15th?
That first tweet that's it.
Oh,
that's it.
Here it is.
Look at that ugly disturbance. Look how ugly it is. I mean, that doesn't look like it has any potential. Look at that garbage.
Wow. That's crazy. Hey, guys, I actually remember reading this tweet. I'm going to be quite honest. I remember reading this tweet, and I thought the same thing. It is just shocking, right? That this just pile of crap, right? That's the only way to describe it. This pile of crap.
Garbage. It's garbage.
It's garbage. I mean, there's barely even any thunderstorms in that thing. That became one of the strongest storms of the decade, if not the past couple of decades, right? One of the strongest storms ever.
Yeah. No, actually, it's so in terms of in the Atlantic database, it is tied for first place with Hurricane Allen in 1980. For peak winds at its peak of 190.
Atlanta 70 super chatted $10.
Oh my God.
Awesome stream, Brady. W's to chat, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji.
Yeah, we were going so good.
Beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji. Hashtag free chappy, hashtag Kelsey and Abby need polls, hashtag chat wants a poll.
I gave you a poll, okay? You can. They love when I put polls in the YouTube chat. They love voting in the polls there, Josh. So
no, I celebrate all of these wonderful shows of support for you. I think it's awesome. Gives me a chance to catch my breath, because I yap so much. I can't stop once I start talking. But,
Josh, you are a fantastic storyteller. So. We were talking about this. This is the inception, right? This is kind of when this thing started kind of forming here, and this is when you left.
That's right the night before. And I was gearing up for like an epic battle.
Wow!
And doing a pretentious selfie.
By that time, I think we had. I'm just going to close some of these windows here so we can. I'm just going to put these next to each other. By that time, we knew it was becoming clear that there was going to be something, right? Here's kind of a comparison of the two, right? You got the European, you got the GFS, and both were showing, this was, I think, a couple of days. Let's see, this was on October 21st. By October 21st, we had a pretty good idea this was going to be a big time storm.
Yes, and I remember at that time I was like trying to figure out where I was going to go. Now it seems so like, when you look back at a hurricane, what happened seems like, that's what always was going to happen, that it was going to smash Jamaica, but it actually wasn't obvious. And I remember at different points over that week, I was making sort of like travel arrangements for Dominican Republic, Grand Cayman Island, Cuba. I was looking into Cuba. Wow. Like, I didn't know where this thing was going to come in, and the computer models, it looked like a ratty old hairbrush where like the lines were just like in every direction. Like you did not know. It took a while for it to kind of settle on Jamaica, so it was very unclear. There were days and days of like I know I'm going to be hunting this thing, but I have no idea what country and when. I was on edge for days. It was a tough lead up because I wasn't sleeping a lot. I was like getting up every few hours and looking at the models, and I knew a big epic adventure was coming, and I was like, I was like feeling it, but I didn't know, I didn't know the details.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this was the computer models, guys. And guys, for me, this was, nerve wracking. I mean, look at the spread. It literally, it could have hit any of the, set like tens, if not, countries in the Caribbean, right? Like how you literally had to have a contingency plan for almost every single one of those countries, except for, the Leeward Islands there. I mean, it wasn't going to hit those, but, could have hit Cuba, Puerto Rico. There was Josh, this is just an insane, and this is only, this is like on October, let's see, this is on October, 20th here. So we are not that far away from when this thing's going to make landfall, and you're having to try to decide, where am I going to go?
And look at those runs that day. Look, very few of the lines actually go over Jamaica. It did not have a handle on it at that point, and it was like, and that made it nerve-wracking. And just for it to be, if it's in the Gulf, then you kind of know, okay, it's going to hit somewhere on the U.S. Gulf Coast, and you could just kind of, it's a big contiguous landmass. You could just get in the car and Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, whatever. You just drive. With this, I call it island roulette. You got a bunch of dots, and you have to pick which dot, and you have to get on that dot, that island, in time to get the storm. But if you pick too early and commit to that island, you might get stuck on it when it goes somewhere else. So it's my least favorite kind of chasing. Like I said, I call it island roulette, and I hate it. But my greatest chases, the ones that I look back at, is like, okay, these are the pinnacle sort of conquests of my career, were these island situations. So I guess I shouldn't hate them so much.
Yeah, well, it is. I think if I was chasing it, I would probably hate them, because just not knowing where to go. There is very different outcomes if you fly, to Cuba versus you fly to Jamaica. Like, you have to have very different plans, right? Very different. Like, I don't even know how you would get into Cuba. Like, I don't know how you. I think you can figure it out. I would not be able to figure it out, right? I'd be in probably jail within like 10 minutes of getting to that country because I would do something wrong.
And there's all these other, last year was the year of like logistical nightmares, because every chase, there was something, it was complicated. My first chase was in this very rural part of the west coast of Mexico, Oaxaca, where there's like, the roads aren't good, no radar. The hurricane was moving along the coast late at night. It was like I couldn't see where I was going. That was a tough chase. And then the next one, I was chasing a typhoon, and I ended up in China, communist China. I was able to get in without a visa on a technicality. But in China,
crazy.
If you're not a citizen of China, you can't rent a car. So I had to find a driver. Wow. And I was with this guy for 3 days. He spoke not a word of English, and I spoke not a word of like Cantonese.
Wow.
We were communicating. I was with this guy for 3 days. We were communicating with like, our phone apps. It was like, but all that to get inside the eye of this typhoon in China. It was just every chase like last year was just so complicated. And then this one, just not knowing, okay, which island, which nation, it was a tough year. I only did 4 chases last year, which is small for me. That's like the year before I did 10, but they were all really tough and all just sort of like sucked me dry.
Oh, don't do that. The chat is if you say anything like that, the chat goes off. Okay, remember, chat. The secret word is whammy. Okay, we're not using the other terminology. You can use whammy if you want. That's it.
Did
Josh,
I say something bad?
That is a problem.
Am I in trouble? Am I in like the YouTube jail now or something?
The chat. We have to be. Yeah, look at the chat. The chat's going off. They're just spamming beaver emojis now. Great. Look what you did. Look what you did, Josh.
I'm sorry.
It's all your fault. So this right here, Josh, was when you went to New Orleans. I actually like this tweet, by the way. I remember this moment. This moment was, the suspense. This was on October 25th. You were flying to flying to Jamaica from New Orleans. This moment, was this felt like the peak before you went into the abyss.
Exactly. This was exactly. It was the moment of jumping off the cliff into the unknown. I'd never been to Jamaica, so I didn't know anything about it. And when you chase internationally like I do, that is a big part of this sport, is being comfortable with going to some nation you haven't been to and you don't know anything about, and just landing, and you don't know anyone, and you don't even know where you're going to sleep that night because you haven't decided yet. That's like a big part of this, is just kind of being okay with that. And I'm kind of like Mr. Control, and I'm all about having everything under
Darlene
control.
Boyles super chatted $9.99.
This is your fault, Josh.
My vibrating recliner is in overdrive.
I am going to take responsibility for that, Darlene. You're welcome.
Josh, that is your fault. That is your fault. Darlene Boyles.
I was happy to pleasure Darlene with my weather nerdiness.
No.
All right, I'm sorry. I won't say it again.
That's not good. We can't entertain Darlene. That's not good.
Darlene is a problem, Josh. Darlene is a problem. She's definitely in some of our most chalked ever super chats here. It's not good. It's not good.
All right, well, I take my gratitude back.
Okay. No, we love Darlene. We love Darlene. She's definitely on the list, the chalked list. She's up there for sure. No problem. All right, keep going, Josh. Keep going.
So what was I saying? I was just jumping into the. But I'm Mr. Control. And I've had to learn playing this sport about how to be cool with just going to some place on the other side of the planet and not knowing where I'm going to end up. Just kind of improvising, going with the flow. That's a big part of this. When I go on a chase, people are always 3 or 4 days before, they're like, where are you going to ride out the hurricane? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know until about 6 hours before, because it's a dynamic situation. Your target is moving. So it's all about just kind of improv. So at this point I was just, okay, I'm landing in Montego Bay. And then I'm just going to once I land at the airport, I'm going to look at the computer models and everything else, and then decide where to go from there. And that's how it was.
Wow. Yeah, this was his approach into Jamaica, guys. And this picture is actually a little bit more, the last picture is oh no, it's beautiful, but it's a dangerous kind of beautiful. This is more like hey, we're going, for a beach vacation, but you knew what was on the horizon here. And this next picture, this was, I think this was, wow, you are absolutely locked in right here. And so you did find a place to stay. How did you even know where to go once you got off the plane? That's insane.
What I did, okay, so I didn't know where to go, but I figured, okay, it's gonna hit the southwest coast. There was a range of possibilities. I plotted all the possible, what the range of possibilities that the computer models were showing. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not picking a spot yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a staging location. So I picked a big city kind of in south central Jamaica called Mandeville. Nice big city, and this is a big corporate hotel right in the middle of it. And I said, this is going to be a good place to stage for a few days. It's going to be my headquarters as I watch the storm, as I do recon trips to the coast to get the lay of the land, to figure out, okay, where am I going to ride this thing out? So I stayed in Mandeville for a few days. I do recon trips to the coast, like I said, to get the lay of the land as it became clearer where it was going to come in. And so I often say that to folks. When you're going to chase a hurricane, don't feel like you have to book, you have to pick your chase location right at the beginning. Pick a good staging location from which to identify the chase location.
Guys, and I think chasing a hurricane within the States is hard enough, right? When you chase a hurricane overseas, right, in an area where you can't just go to a Marriott. You can't just. I mean, there are Marriotts, right? There are Marriotts, internationally, but a lot of times you're not. You're gonna have to find a local place, and if you go to a country where you don't speak the language, good freaking luck. And so, Josh, I think you talked about this at the Storm Chaser Summit. It's important when you are doing that to befriend the locals, let them know, hey, I'm here to do this. I'm here, I'm here to keep you safe. Let me figure, how can I help? And how do you do that without being hey, let me take a picture of you, right? And seem like a tourist.
Yeah, totally. And this was like a very natural moment. It felt natural to take this picture. This was the general manager of this hotel. What happened was I was staying at this hotel, the Golf View Resort. It was a great hotel, and I tweeted from it, and the tweet got a lot of traction, and the owners could tell I was in their hotel from the tweet, and they were like interested in kind of like talking with me because they were like psyched that I was there and everything. So then we started talking and everything, and it was great being in a country where you don't know anyone, which is often the case when I'm chasing, and I do chase solo a lot. It's a very lonely feeling. But then, like you make those connections with locals, and you make friends, and you start to, and it can happen very fast. You start to create a almost like community, and then you feel less lonely, and that actually is very helpful. Like I felt like in kind of sort of getting to know the staff of this hotel and just sort of talking about maybe working with them to promote the hotel, whatever else, I started to feel like, okay, I'm not a stranger here anymore. I know people. And that psychologically is really helpful. It makes you feel a little less lonely when you're on the road far from home.
Well, yeah. And Josh, you talked about that. Guys, for those that saw this unfold, it was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. You captured an entire country, right? I mean, this photo is this kind of just shows you, like, Josh, listen, he's got a lot of followers, but I think normally when you post a photo with like another person, it doesn't get almost 300,000 views, right? You literally captured an entire country of Jamaica. And all you have to do is look through any of the tweets that he had during this. I mean, there was an entire country was looking to you, one, to see what it was like on the ground, and two, what is it? How bad is it going to be? Right? Like, how did that even happen? Like, how did you, the Jamaicans came up with their own name for you, right? It was like, Morgerman or whatever.
Morgerman. Yeah, Morgerman.
Which is awesome. How did that happen?
I was very touched. That's why it's on my profile, because I was like, oh my God. So the Jamaicans have been incredibly nice, like off the charts nice to me. I feel like so welcome there. I think what happened was there were, as the Melissa situation started to develop and it looked like a really bad hurricane was going to hit the nation, there were a lot of weather tweeters. Weather Twitter is sometimes not totally. They get very amped about what's that?
They're chalked. They can be chalked at points.
They get very excited about the sort of like the weather, but they forget about the people. And I think they were just like, oh my God, this is gonna wipe Jamaica off the map. Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that.
And this very doomsday kind of language. And I think the Jamaicans got really rubbed the wrong way. And I don't blame them, because I'm telling you, I live on the coastal Mississippi. I live in a town that's been wiped out by hurricanes a couple times. But I had a big hurricane coming my way, and people on Twitter are like, I wouldn't appreciate that. So I saw that, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to be that way. And what I tried to do was just sort of tweet it was a balance. I was walking a balance because I wanted to talk in a way that was not apocalyptic and unhelpful, like sort of like scary and unhelpful, but not downplayed either, because it was a serious situation. So it's like you're walking a line. You don't want to make it worse than it is, but you also don't want to make people think, oh, you're just brushing it off. So I played it right down the middle, and I just communicated with the Jamaicans in a matter of fact, here's what I know, here's what I think, here's how dangerous I think this is. And I think they just appreciated that approach. I wasn't like adding special sauce to it and making it apocalyptic. I was trying to give helpful advice without like making them unnecessarily scared. And I think that's what they appreciated.
You mean you weren't adding music to your videos like I was?
Well, you're a whole other style. You're a whole other. You're your own brand, and that, like, for your brand, that works.
Yeah. But I agree. I think, and in the text, in the forecast I was doing, I was also trying to do that. When you are in a situation like this, and you have a country that also, look, there's Josh on the beach right here in Jamaica. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But when you have a hurricane that's coming towards a country, like you've got, and they haven't seen something like this. It's been a while since they have seen a storm like this. There's a line where it's like, yes, you want to, I don't want to say scare people into action. you want to motivate people to take action, right? There's
100%. And I was worried a little bit about the climatology of Jamaica because it's right in the Caribbean, but they've actually, forgiven their location, they've gotten very lucky over the years. There have been a bunch of near misses where you had like a high-end 4 or 5 heading right for the island, and at the last second it just kind of veered so that the core missed the island. Their strongest landfall on record up until Melissa was a high-end Category 3. So I realized at a certain point, okay, Melissa is going to be an unprecedented event. And that's what I realized I had to what I was trying to convey in my, sort of like tweets that I knew Jamaicans would see was that this was going to be beyond what any of you have experienced before. So don't think about Hurricane Allen or Hurricane Dean or the other ones that you've been in. This one is going to be much worse. And I felt it was important to convey that to people.
Yeah, it was. And you got, as meteorologists, storm chasers, anyone that's communicating, you always have to make sure that you keep that in mind. And you don't want to, because sometimes, guys, fear can actually be a paralyzer, right? It can paralyze people. And if you create fear, it also creates paralysis. And then people don't take any action. And that is another almost sometimes a bigger problem. And so you got to be very careful. We were talking about the lead up, right? The lead up. I think this is when, Josh, this was on October 25th. This was when things really started to get going.
It was like when I flew there, it was still a tropical storm, but I knew it was going to start to kind of pick up. And it was like the day I landed, it was just kind of heading west. That was when it just started cranking. It became a hurricane, and then it very steadily intensified to like a high-end hurricane. I think within 24 hours, it was like a solid Category 4. So it was like the second that I landed in Jamaica, it almost felt like that's when it activated.
Yeah. It was crazy how it didn't do anything for so freaking long. I mean, it was like, it almost felt like, I'm a big history buff, World War II. I don't love it, but I'm very interested in that period. It's almost like for those that are familiar with, when Germany was gonna attack France and England, they waited, right? It was called the Sitzkrieg, right? It's like a period where the war just kind of stopped. That's like what happened. That's like what Melissa went through. It just kind of stopped and was just taking its time. But once it got going, I mean, Josh, it got going. This is October 26th. So the satellite image that we just saw, this storm, which this is a monster beast, rapidly intensifying monster. There's no other way to describe it. This is less than 24 hours from that last satellite image. And Josh, I think this is when we knew this is going to be an unavoidable potential disaster.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, going back to your historical analogy, and I'm a history guy too. That's actually what I studied in college, meteorology. And it was a great analogy, the way it was just like this weird, it just sat there festering for so long, like it couldn't decide. And then it was like, all right, now I'm getting in shape. And it got in shape. It went a little crazy, and you could see it, and it was like, okay, now it's getting serious, and it continued west. It was like, it's so weird. If you look at the whole track of the hurricane, like the whole track, it looks like almost like it was like a snake kind of sitting there, like a cobra, just kind of like trying to figure out what it wanted to do, and then it attacked, and then just boom. Like, yeah, look at that. Like you could see it kind of was just sort of curling around the Caribbean, and then it just literally just like attacked Jamaica, just made that decision and went for it.
Yeah, it is, this literally, guys, from when it formed a tropical depression, it just sat there. And if you guys remember it just sat there and sat there and sat there. And then, to your point, just took a beeline to the right in here. This is when it started rapidly intensifying.
Yeah.
And then it just got picked up by a trough, lifted to we knew, I'm getting like flashbacks because when I was forecasting this, we knew it was going to be a big time storm. And it was a big deal. Oh no, my screen just froze. Chat, taking a quick commercial break. Oh, mama. Oh, all right. I got to restart my client. Be right back. front. It'll have you blow by the competition. It's got radar, observations, models, all in one epic app. Blow by the competition! Woo!
Weatherfront, the official weather app of the Storm Front Freaks Network.
Oh, that was a close call. That was a close call, Josh. You never know what can happen when the stream freezes, but we're back, and we're talking about Hurricane Melissa here. So this was the track. We saw what happened, and Josh, I want to show you. Just not even 24 hours later, Melissa turned into this, and at this point. Were you, I think this was around the same time you started doing recon. So you were in Treasure Beach scouting out where you're going to post up. Like when you saw this, were you just like, this is no bueno?
Yeah, I started to get concerned. It was around the time that I was in Treasure Beach, and I was looking at little places right along the coast there, just a couple of feet above sea level. And I think that's when it started to really bomb out. And I found one place that was like a little higher, and I was going to ride it out, but then I was like, all right, this thing's going to be too strong for that. But it got, it continued to intensify. It became a Category 5 on the 27th. And then overnight, it was like, it was still a Category 5, but it was the morning of landfall, which is when it went nuclear, when the central pressure went down below 900. And that's when I got, a little spooked, because, for folks who don't know, I know but just for anyone who's watching who doesn't know, the central pressure of a hurricane sort of is basically correlated to the intensity. The lower the pressure, the stronger the hurricane. And getting below 900 millibars is like
ludicrous,
nuts. And it went down to 892. Ludicrous. And I remember seeing that number in the recon and just being like couldn't breathe. I'm like, okay.
It was ludicrous. Guys, the storm. We all remember this storm. When you see this, guys, on satellite, right? This is IR. The lightning in the center.
Yeah.
This is the pinnacle of this hurricane, Josh, pushed the limits of what a storm can accomplish in the Western Hemisphere, right? This storm absolutely pushed physics to the limit, and it just, look at this too. Look at how it was wobbling all the way and going up to landfall. Eventually, it did kind of hit the center line here, but this storm in general was one for the ages. And Josh, as you're seeing this, because you were seeing this satellite imagery too, like what were you thinking? Because you were in the direct path of this sucker. Was there a part of you that's like, uh-oh, or were you just like locked in?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I'm an experienced chaser, but when I'm going for one like this, this is just so intense. This is as intense as hurricanes get anywhere on Earth. And two, I was in an area, like a vulnerable area, like sort of an area that's poorer, that doesn't have great infrastructure. So that was a concern as well. It's like, all right, not only am I going to be in this really intense hurricane, but in a place that's vulnerable. So, I remember, I was a little rattled. But the thing with me is, people ask me, do you get scared when you're chasing? Yeah, sometimes. And in this situation, I was a little bit. But the thing is, whatever fear I'm having, my curiosity to witness what is going to be an unbelievable display, the curiosity is always just a little higher than the fear. Like the curiosity always wins out. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay right here, and I'm gonna document this thing.
Wow. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'd be freaking out. I would be excited, but I'd also be like, okay, and this, this gave me like a last meal kind of vibes. Like you were just like, I remember looking at this and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is potentially your last like solid meal in weeks, because you just don't know if you're gonna be able to get out. And this looked like was this a home cooked meal before the storm hit?
It was the restaurant in the hotel. That's called jerk chicken, which is one of the most popular Jamaican dishes. And wow. So good. And wow. And I knew, before I'm not hungry before a chase. I've got to force, like I'm totally on adrenaline. I mean, I'm talking days before. I lose weight during the hurricane season because once I'm on the hunt, I'm like, I'm just not hungry and I have to force myself to eat. This food was delicious, so I didn't have to force it, but I was eating a lot and I was doing it on purpose because I knew at a certain point I was going to be in an epic hurricane. I was going to be trapped in an impact zone and I was going to not have hot food for days and days and days. I knew in my mind that was going to happen. And it was like, I was like storing up on the calories, like a bear getting ready for the winter. You know what I mean? I was just like, and I was just like pigging out. I'm like, I'm just making myself store up those calories. And it was good that I did because, you know, it was tough. It was a long, tough stretch after the hurricane. So,
wow. Yeah. So Josh, we talked a lot about, you know, the build up here. This was wait, tell me this wasn't, were you thinking about writing it out in this?
No. And that was in Treasure Beach, which was where the computer models were pointing the day before. And I thought I was going to write it out in that area, but not in this building. But Treasure Beach, it kept moving west, so it didn't come ashore here. This area got clobbered, but they didn't get the eyewall. They didn't get the nuclear core of this thing.
Yeah, and this was, didn't you wait? Okay, I think you told me this story before. Didn't you were you trying to find a hotel like at the very last moment?
So the night before the hurricane, literally like 12 hours before landfall, I'm like, all right, I'm having a good idea of where it's coming in. And I had a place lined up that was very close to where the exact center ended up coming ashore. When I got there, the place was closed. No one was there. So it's late at night. It's starting to rain. It's very dark. I'm just driving up and down the coast where this Category 5 hurricane is coming, trying to find anywhere to stay. I'm at this point, I'm desperate. I'm literally I'll I found a hospital. I'm like, maybe I'll just stand in the waiting room. I just didn't know what to do. And then I found this guest house just on a lonely stretch of highway, just this guest house and nice big concrete building. And I got a room. It was like $40 US. And I was like, it was like divine, intervention. It just was like, it was, I felt so lucky to find this place. And this is where I wrote out this nuclear hurricane in that building right there.
That is guys, that is, I mean, the good thing about that building is it's high and were able to get, I wonder, was there anyone that was staying on the first floor? Cause I feel like there would have been a mad scramble of, hey, we need to stay. Although I don't know how close this was to the shore. So I don't know if they were going to get storm surge, but
no, it was a perfect, a lot of times when I'm hunting an intense hurricane in some other country, I don't always end up in a particularly safe place. You kind of have to just take what's there. This was a situation where I ended up in a place that was perfect. So this is only about a half mile, maybe 2/3 of a mile from the beach, but it was on a little bit of a hill. So it was safe from storm surge. And this was solid concrete. So it was from both wind and water, I knew this building was going to be okay. Now, it got very heavily damaged in the hurricane, but the structure itself, protected me and the other people in it.
Wow. Yeah. And so this was the night before, right? This was Josh finding a place to stay, finding a place to ride this out. When you woke up, right? This is your sleeping arrangements.
That's my room. Yeah. And that little closet right there. See the closet at the back of the room? So that was going to be my safe room. I was like, all right, if the S really hits the fan, I'm going to go in there. And also that's where I put, so I'm not just an adrenaline junkie. I am really out to collect good meteorological data. I calibrated my devices and I put them in that closet so that they were protected. And it ended up being smart because, I'll just sort of I'll spoiler alert, but the windows, the shutters blew in, the room was sprayed with glass and plaster, but the devices were safe in that little closet collecting data undisturbed. So I got good data. Wow. The destruction did not affect, I came out with good clean data because I put them in that little room. So
guys, that's the kind of stuff that I would have just, frankly, I would have put it outside of my balcony and it would have been gone, But that's the kind of stuff that only like people like Josh that literally, I mean, I'll be honest, there's very few people in the world that can do what you do. There's no one in the world that's done it as much as you have done it and as extreme as you have done it. But there's very few people in the world that can actually do what you do. And guys, this is incredibly fascinating because this type of storm chasing, right? We talk about tornado chasing all the time. You know, you get in a car and drive. There's a lot of complexity to that, right? But when you look at something like this, the complexity that you have to, one, plan for, and two, in the moment, like this is a last second decision that you had to look, find, and make on the eve of a disaster, something that this country has potentially never seen in recorded history, and you've got to make that decision on the spot. Good luck. You know, I would have probably been, you know, at the Marriott in Treasure Beach and been cooked. Like, and I know they don't have a Marriott there, but it's like, it's you have to know what you're doing, and this kind of chasing is just like, you're goated, my friend. You're goated. So you're in this room. Did you get any sleep that night? Did you sleep at all?
It's a good question. I think I laid down on the bed. It started to rain. There was no wind, but it started to rain. And then I think I was like laying on the bed. And then in the wee morning hours, you started to get the wind started to pick up, and it got that creepy howly sound. And I was like, okay, it's game on. And I think, you know, maybe I dozed for like 45 minutes. But I mean, you know, at this point in a chase and one like this, I knew it was going to be an historic hurricane. I mean, like your body, it's just like your blood content is probably like 50% adrenaline. You're not going to relax. And I couldn't. And I think next thing I knew, it was dawn. And it was, you know, gray and rainy and windy, and and this thing is, you know, I'm looking at it on the radar. I still had a connection, and it's like rapidly approaching the little gold circle, the eyewall. Again, this thing had a really nasty looking core, and that thing was just making a beeline for me.
Yeah. And Josh, so I do have your YouTube video. I was going to show like a 10-second clip from it, or like if it like.
Go ahead, yeah. Sure.
Okay. And guys, what you need to do, by the way, if you're watching this stream, each and every one of you needs to go over to Josh's YouTube and watch this whole video, because this video, what we're describing here, it does an infinitely better job of describing the lead up, the storm. This kind of footage is some of the most insane. I mean, this is one of the strongest storms ever, and Josh was in the core of it. He's one of the only chasers ever on this planet to get in a storm of this category, right? Josh, I don't know if we look at hurricane chasers, like in general, I don't know. There's very few people, if any, that have been in a storm this strong, because this storm broke records.
Yeah, there's been like a couple, but with this one, I was like the only one who really got in it. So this is from 8 a.m. This is when we were just starting to get in it. It was not so bad yet. Just the outer rain bands getting some gusty wind, and I'm taking my last shots outside, just sort of, I want to show the lay of the land before this thing comes in. Did you freeze? Oh no, you're still there. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm turning the audio on here. This is, you can kind of hear, I mean, Josh, I'm going to try to work with the volume here, but this is 8 a.m. and you can kind of hear oh man, you're getting cooked, Josh. Wow. So there was where you were staying. Yeah. And you're getting completely cooked at this point. I mean, you're getting wet. The clothes are getting soaked. It's getting intense.
But you know, we're not, the core of the hurricane is offshore. But when I'm looking at the radar, because the Cuban radar was capturing it, you know, that the eyewall, that yellow circle, I could just see it. It's like rapidly just like coming straight. It was like a bowling ball coming. I'm like, oh man. So that was at this point, and then it started to pick up. And, you know, as we go through the video, I put the timestamps on the videos on purpose, because I look at my video as sort of like a document of the event. And I want folks to be able to, like scientists or whatever, to look at this and know, okay, these were the conditions at this moment. And we got into the eye wall around 10:20, 10:40. And then on this video, it's around 10:50 that it starts to really just go crazy. This is still like before it got bad. Look at that building across the street, 2-story concrete building. You won't believe what it looks like after. You know, but yeah, it's still at this point, still just getting going. We're maybe at this point getting a couple of gusts, getting close to hurricane force, and I'm still at this point trying to document, just show. Oh, there's the radar.
Man.
You could see now. Look at that little. You could just barely see it, but see the little that inner eyewall.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's coming like literally like a beeline, and you know this radar is a little attenuated because it's out of Cuba. It's far away, but it's enough. You can see you can see that eye wall just boom, and it's just like almost right there. And I was like,
dude, when you saw, hold on, I gotta go back. When you saw that core, guys, this is when you look on radar and see a core like that. I'll try to do a still image. When you see a core like that, guys, on a radar like Jamaica's got radars, whatever, they got fine radars. When you see, this isn't necessarily high definition. When you see a core like that on this type of radar, that is a problem. Because you only see that kind of structure in the strongest storms, the category 3, 4s, and 5s. When you have a tight, packed core, I mean, Josh, you can tell, you see that and you're just like, oh no.
No, you said it right. This is like low res radar, and it's from far away, so it's really attenuated. But that core is that structural feature is so well defined that even far away, even low res, it's showing up. It's like
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So you kept, so it was really, let's go ahead to this is 9:51. I'm just gonna let the sound play for just a second because.
And the wind is just starting to get destructive. You're seeing a little bit of wreckage just starting to fly. Again, nothing too crazy yet.
Hurricane Melissa.
Listen to that, Josh. That is. Oh my goodness.
Starting to really feel it. We're still not in it.
Listen to that. The sound is just. You're not in the core yet, but it's like a constant.
Yeah.
It's like a constant just.
But you feel like, okay, it's starting to get a little serious. We're not in the eye wall, but you're starting to feel like, okay, this is there's a real thing happening here.
And when you see, I mean, the crazy thing, guys, is the visibility. I mean, the visibility is basically zero. I mean, this is not a snowstorm. This is literally a hurricane. That's rain the wind is going so fast you can't see anything. Now, this is when the debris starts to kind of fly here. At what point, Josh, were you like, okay, it's time to probably get back in the room? Because there was some debris kind of swirling there, mostly just small branches at that point.
Yeah.
But, it started to get real.
This was the hotel's kitchen where I'm like that room. That's where I ended up riding out the real peak conditions because of the direction. Okay, this is I think the last shot from inside my room. That ended up not being a good place because of the angle of the wind. So I relocated to the hotel's kitchen because the way the door faced, I could kind of watch what was happening, without the wind, at least not initially, it wasn't blowing in. See how it's kind of going crossways? So I was able to have a good view. And that tree out there, that palm tree I keep showing, became a valuable tool when I was analyzing the footage afterward. That tree helped me understand what was the direction of the wind at different times because that tree was like a weather vane. It stayed up incredibly.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean that tree, yeah, it's unbelievable. And I should make the screen a little smaller because I want to see what time it is there. I think it might be 10:15. I think that's just
10:18. 10:18.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just about to get into the core of the hurricane. I would say we got into the outer eyewall around 10:20 was I started to feel like, okay, we're really getting in it. And then I didn't leave that kitchen. I stayed in there and just kind of filmed from there. But it got worse and worse. And this is when we start kind of getting in it. But the thing I remember is that tree, that palm tree, the way it started to bend, when we get to around, here we go, the cataclysm.
The cataclysm. Mama.
Because now we're just
ad!
Oh, sorry.
Ad!
What is this?
No, it's okay. We're helping. We're helping, guys. We're helping the ad revenue. This is fantastic. Wow, this guy he cut $3 billion in taxes and
I'm going to make no political comments.
Posture. Everyone fix your posture. Whoa. If
I didn't know
practice
these
like
ads were
this.
running on my video. Okay.
Go like this. Okay.
Sorry, everyone. It's like, wow, commercial break right before the sexy stuff.
Guys, this is fantastic. Actually, this helps Josh. This is, guys, watch all the ads, click on all the ads, buy all the products here. Oh no.
Someone's got to pay for these adventures, right?
Bro, it literally froze. No way.
Oh no.
Bro, this is
What did you do, Brady?
I don't know. I have no clue. I think I have too many windows open. This is why you don't run Edge though. Edge is kind of cooked. Wait, okay, there we go. We're good. We're back.
Okay. So this is when I start getting into it. And like 10:40, 10:45 is when it starts to get kind of wild. But that tree, man, the way it started to bend, the top of it bends below the railing that you see. Okay, so these are people that are in the hotel. I think their windows blew in, so they came into the kitchen with me because they were freaked out. So now the wind starts to get destructive, and you'll see, like, I think in one or two shots from now, the roof of the building. Oh, there you see it, like the roof of the building across the street starts coming off. Like it started to do damage. So these are just poor residents who were, they came to the hotel.
And listen to that. I mean, that audio is just. Oh, there goes the building.
Yeah.
There goes the roof.
Yeah. And I think the rest of it's about to come off in a second.
Gosh. The sound is just crazy. Guys, we aren't even, this is 10:24. We're not even in the core yet. Oh, mama.
Yeah. But it's just started to get destructive. But yeah, no, but the sound gets much worse. And one thing, when we get into the peak of the hurricane, the screaming sound was so loud that you'll see the people I'm with, the teenage girl and her brother, are like, they're holding their ears because the screaming of the wind was so loud. It was painful to listen to. I've never been in a hurricane where it hurt my ears that bad. Yeah, now it's just like ripping,
Oh my gosh.
Still not the strongest winds, but we're getting it now.
That sound. Can you guys hear that sound? And this was the family you were with. And you can the wind is just insane. That sound, I feel like that sound, if you've never heard it, that's the kind of sound that would stick with you forever when you look at a storm like this.
Yeah, it's like just stuff starting to blow, and it's like it's getting real now, And I remember thinking, okay, we're really getting it. And I was very, very thankful that I was in this real solid concrete building, really thick walls. I knew we would be okay, but because it started to rip. But one thing I want to say is, after this hurricane, I found buildings that had collapsed, concrete buildings, from the force of the wind. That's how strong. That's how strong these winds got. Look at that tree just starting to really bend. It's just watch a really big gust comes about now. But watch that the crown of that tree goes below the railing, because that's how crazy. It just starts to. There's a really big gust coming right about now, right after my thumb gets out of the lens. Okay, watch. It's just a really big boom. It's that's some crazy ass wind right there.
Oh my, guys, oh my gosh. The crazy thing is, those people, that's where they live. That's their country. And to see that, it would just be, and you were actually, helping them and being like, hey, this is where we're going to be safe. And you were actually an asset in that situation. But I can't even imagine living there.
But I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, and as we get further into the video, in a little while, it gets so bad that everything just turns white. So when the peak winds happen, we're not in the peak winds yet, believe it or not. When the peak winds happen, you can't see anything. It's solid white. You can't even see that tree. It's just, everything's just white. And
wow.
And I remember thinking to myself, okay, it looks all white like a blizzard. That's when stuff is when concrete buildings are collapsing, when cars are flying. That's when the really crazy stuff happened. I remember just thinking, when everything turned white.
Oh no!
I remember just thinking,
look at that.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, God knows what's happening behind that curtain of white. This whole place is I knew what was happening. It was like a nuclear bomb. That's what was happening. And behind this, it looks almost like a snowstorm. You can't, and it's like this ferocity and this power, but it just actually, we're going to go out the window again. It just looks like a snowstorm But that's when you're getting 200 mile an hour winds, gusts over 200. That's when it's that's when it's just going like right there.
That is crazy.
Like,
listen to that sound, guys. Oh my! Look at the wind coming through the bottom of the door. That's blowing that rain in. That is unbelievable. I've never, and I mean, from your perspective, Josh, like you've been through some unbelievable storms. Have you ever seen anything like this?
This was I thought about it afterward. The only one that came close was Dorian in the Bahamas, which in 2019, which was like officially, these were both estimated to be sustained winds of 185 at landfall. But this one, when I thought about it, I was like, Melissa seemed worse, and it was partly because of that screaming sound. Dorian didn't have that scream. This one had a scream where people were holding their ears. I'm like, it had an edge. There's something.
And look at the wind. Look at the rain and wind that's being blown underneath the door. It looks like someone literally has like a giant box fan right outside the door, just like blowing. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh no, we were. This is when we were getting full on raked. This is when we were like inside what's called the radius of maximum winds, which is we're inside the most intense part of the hurricane. Like now, and we're just boxed in this little room. Just kind of like, these poor people, they just want it to end, obviously. And I'm trying to document it. And here you can see, but just, you get like a little peek at it. It's hard to film, at this point. Also, the wind had shifted by this point. So it was blowing into the room. Now, notice how it's getting kind of bright outside. That's because we're getting very close to the eye. So we're so deep in the eye wall that we're actually almost coming out the other side into the calm, which we're going to be in soon.
Tom asked, could you physically feel the pressure?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when you have these huge gusts, like over 200 miles an hour slamming into the building and probably mesovortex action too, there's probably all kinds of crazy stuff. When I looked at the pressure traces afterward, there was all kinds of crazy fluctuations in the inner eye wall, which were probably the sort of fingerprints of mesovortices. But when that stuff happens, you get this really weird feeling. Your eardrums pulse in and out, and it goes from like a tickle to hurting from those pressure changes. So in addition to this screaming sound, the pressure fluctuations as well, your ears are just getting like a total workout. It's a very unpleasant feeling.
Wow. Yeah, and the sound. Listen to that. Oh,
stronger now.
My gosh. That is terrifying. Josh, I told you this from when we were in the Storm Chaser Summit. This could be this needs to be shown in like an IMAX theater, because the sounds of it are and guys, you're hearing this through the chalked kind of audio interface that is my stream. You need to go and actually watch the full video, because I promise you. I watched like half of it just one night as I was like doing a movie. It is unbelievable. Some of the most extreme weather footage and hurricane footage in the world. Just it takes you, what Josh puts you through the whole story. He doesn't just show you the footage. He tells the story behind it. And that's, you guys have to watch this whole video, because it's unbelievable. I mean, you stuck your head out there. It's just like, nope. Like,
I was like,
yeah.
Wow. And here the wind was still really screaming, but in a few minutes from now, if you turn it back up, you can hear it's really high pitched. But a couple of minutes after that, it started to go down a little bit, the pitch, and that's as we start to enter the eye.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm gonna fast forward like maybe what do you think? Maybe like 5-10 minutes, and it'll go down.
Yeah, or actually just a few minutes. We're getting into the eye. It's the next chapter.
Oh, here, let's go to this chapter.
So when you can see. So now we're in the
Oh, mama.
Oh no.
I
did not know that I so aggressively monetized this video.
Let me mute it. TurboTax, Josh, have you done your taxes yet? If not, TurboTax is calling.
I have someone who helps me with it. They're a little complicated, so.
Yeah, I can't imagine, bro. Yeah, your expenses have got to be just insane.
Well, and my
man.
income is little bits and pieces from like 1,000 places. So this is okay. So we're in the eye. We're in the edge of the eye. So it's not a dead calm, but it's like the winds are now well below hurricane force. It's calmed down. Look at the destruction. Every building lost its roof, and look at that concrete building across the street. That was a concrete building, a 2-story concrete building. The force of the wind blasted off the second floor. That's what you see there. The wind tore off the second story of a concrete building. And that's some hardcore. Insane. That's like dynamite.
Yeah. That guys, the building codes in Florida, to give you guys perspective, they build the structures concrete block so that they do not. So what happened there doesn't happen. But when you have winds 185 miles an hour, all bets are off. And if you've got concrete structures falling over, there's not much you can do. I mean, at that point, that's only the most powerful storms on the planet can do that. So Josh, looks like here's the backside. The tree is now blowing in the opposite direction. It was blowing this way. It's now blowing this way. So now we're on the backside of the storm. And let me see if I can hear the pitch change you were talking about here as we kind of get.
And this side of the hurricane was not as bad. The reason being, the hotel was nestled up against some hills, and now it was blowing the hills were kind of protecting us. So, it looks bad, but it wasn't quite as crazy as the front side. But like you said, look, that tree's done basically a 180. It's like bending the other way now. I can't believe that tree survived, by the way, the beating that it took. I love that tree. I went back 3 months later, and that tree was like this sacred, I felt like I was like visiting like a sacred idol. No, I love that tree. I'm so into that tree because I just like the dignity that it showed, the strength,
Oh, well, listen, we just had a windstorm roll through in Ohio, like 60 mile an hour winds, and there was 7 trees came down behind my condo. To be in a storm where there's 185 mile an hour winds, and that is just the fact that tree didn't get ripped off and thrown into the air is insane. It's insane.
It's like nature's engineering, and by the way, a lot of palm trees don't survive, but that one did. But it's it was engineered by nature to just kind of, just sort of go with that flow, and it did. And just the way it bent and it just kind of moved with the gusts. There's something very beautiful about it. And then just, I actually, like I said, I visited the tree late in January on the 3-month anniversary, and it was still there. It was, it was beaten up, but it was, it was okay. It's still alive. And
wow.
I love that tree so much. I wish I could, I don't know, ensure that it's preserved forever, because I think it's such a I don't know, like I said, it became like a symbol for me of strength or resilience or something.
If you go back there, you should see sometimes they lose like branches, whatever. You should get a leaf or something from it.
You're right. Like a frond. I should have done that actually. Yeah, just some piece of it.
Hey, you can always, who knows this year? I'm hoping Jamaica doesn't get hit, by another storm like this, because, I think it's they weren't spared, but at least it didn't hit the most populated. At least it didn't hit the most populated part of Jamaica. It still was bad, but yeah. If you go back, get a palm frond and frame that, because guys, this storm and listen. Is there anything else you want to show on here, Josh? I don't want to show too much because I want my chat to go watch it. They will. They do whatever I tell them, right, chat? But. Is there anything else on this?
No,
video
I think we showed that the main parts of the storm. There's tremendous destruction afterward, and then there was the whole just kind of surviving there. Afterward, I was there for many days. I lived in that hotel, so the hotel survived pretty well. The structure was solid, but the whole roof tore off, and a lot of the windows and doors blew out. So a lot of the rooms were left uninhabitable. But there were enough rooms that were habitable that all the people who rode out the storm in the hotel had a place to live while we all figured out what to do.
Yeah, this was some of this was from your hotel.
Yeah, you see the roof is gone, but the structure was good. The structure was solid. Yeah, the wind tore off that railing, and this is like the second story balcony, and that was typical of what happened to the upper story rooms, they just got blasted out. And then once the wind got in the room, it was just like, forget it. But the structure, like I said, the structure was okay, you know.
Did your roof get, like, of your room that you were in, did it get taken off?
Because I was the floor below this, but one of the windows blew out. So it got like, here we're going to see a close up of that building across. So all those buildings lost their roofs. All the trees are gone, and there's that building that had been a 2-story building. Oh my God! Yeah, like, I mean, that's some crazy wind damage right there. You know.
I mean, Josh, to blow over a concrete structure, right? Like, that is not. That is a very rare breed of storm that can do that, because concrete is some of the most solid building material. That's literally what they have you build in Florida. That's the code, right? For building houses near, anywhere along the coast. And it's just insane.
What I learned in this hurricane is that, because there were other concrete buildings that actually performed pretty well. And what I learned is, one of my big takeaways from Melissa is, like, not all concrete is created equal, and this concrete was not as good as it needed to be.
Wow. Yeah, it is unbelievable. Looking at this and look at the trees stripped, completely ripped. And then you got the palm tree coming up. That's it's just fine. I mean, it's insane. It is really insane. I mean, Josh, for you, I think, this experience, because now we're in the kind of the aftermath here after the storm. This can sometimes be, during the storm is very dangerous, but after the storm, when there's not access to a lot of food or clean water, this is when things can get a little hairy too.
100%. It's a tough time because there aren't resources. If you have any kind of medical issue, you're in trouble. And because there's no resources, no one can get to you. So it's like, you have to be really careful. You have to make sure not to, step on a nail or get your leg ripped open or something, or just something that can get infected. It's like, this is like the time where you got to be super careful. And also, be aware of the fact that, as you could see, I stood out. I was obviously, kind of like not from there. And you don't want to attract too much attention, but also you want to cover the story and what is happening. And, it's interesting. I was there for days, and folks would see me filming, and a couple of folks were like, you trying to make money off this or misery? And I would actually just stop and engage. And I would say to them, listen, the world needs to see what happened. The world needs to know what happened here and how bad it was. These pictures need to get on TV. And that's what I'm doing, because the help is going to come in when people see the pictures. And when I explained that, people got it. They understood, like, the role of journalism, that this is how people know what happened. Because if these pictures don't get on TV, no one's going to know what they're going through. And they needed help from the outside, just like anybody. Look at New Orleans and Mississippi after Katrina. Yeah. Help from outside was needed, like, some disasters are so epic and so tremendous that it's like it needs the help of an entire nation or even the world, to get places back on their feet. And this was that kind of a disaster.
100%. I think I'll be honest, I think if the world doesn't see it, the first thing they'll probably think is it didn't happen, right? And then they're going to be like, it wasn't as bad as everyone thought, that it didn't even happen. And then it's going to be on to the next thing. And
totally
in a situation like this, like Jamaica it's a big country. They can take care of themselves, but also when you have a natural disaster that really covers the entire island, they are going to need help. They are going to need assistance. Like there's people that are probably still rebuilding their homes, that are still rebuilding the everything they lost. I mean, they'll be doing that for years, Josh. And it's like, you've got to show these images so that people know, here's what happened, and here's an area that needs your help.
100%. And this is the kind of disaster. This is the level of destruction actually reminded me of, like, the Mississippi coast after Katrina, where the level of destruction is off the charts. And it's not just buildings and homes, it's just the whole infrastructure. It's everything. And those kinds of recoveries, this is not like, in 2 years everything's cool. This is going to be like a decade or 2 decades. The scars are so deep, because like I said, it's not just the buildings, it's the infrastructure. It's the landscape. I went back 3 months later, and you're starting to see some signs of improvement. See how the landscape is totally brown, no green, everything's just sticks. So we're deep in the, maybe that's from the force of the wind. So we're deep in the tropics here. What was really interesting is when I went back 3 months later, there's green, like the tropics. That stuff regenerates so fast. All those trees are not dead, and like that green just starts coming out again, and that's wonderful because I think that I think. Like, I don't live there, okay? That's not my environment, but there are people who live there, okay? And they are used to seeing everything very green. Imagine the trauma. You lose your home, maybe people died. And in addition to all that, the landscape around you is so radically changed. It went from lush and green and tropical to just like sticks. I think that adds to the emotional trauma for survivors, just that their environment suddenly looks so transformed and ugly. And I think that green coming back fast, I have to think that's like it's like a little help. It shows people, okay, there's life after a hurricane like this. That it's like symbolizes the rebirth. At least I hope it does.
No, I 100% agree. I listen. During Irma, I was down in Florida. My grandparents have a place down there. I stayed with them during Irma during the storm. And,
oh wow!
But it wasn't, we got I think 140-mile winds, but we were not, in danger of like storm surge. But that resonates with me because after Irma ended up not being as bad on the surge, but the wind. There were so many trees, so many defoliation, and there was so much. The landscape was completely different, right? There's even the street that they lived on was completely different. And I will never forget that moment and that week, that month, that year after. And it's still, that area still is like in my brain. It's like it was kind of a vacation spot. It was a haven. It was my grandparents' place, and there's still that kind of like that. We didn't even get it that bad, right? Compared to these guys, there's still that scar, and everyone that's been through a hurricane has that, and that will never go away. And you'll always have that thought in the back of your brain about what this place was like after a disaster like that.
No, 100%. And I think that's like a big part of the disaster, the impact on survivors that's not talked about is the psychological impact of seeing your landscape so transformed, But like I said, when I went back in January, 3 months later, there was a lot of green, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And you saw I saw a new bar, convenience store had popped up. That's a common combo down there where you'll have like a little building that's half convenience store and it has a little pub attached to it. But I saw like a new one had popped up and it was freshly painted, and there's like little signs of recovery that were very heartening. I was like happy to see, but don't get me wrong. It's gonna take a generation for this area to bounce back.
Yeah, it is, just seeing this, this part of the video I hadn't gotten to yet, and just seeing this is just, it's insane. And this was the day after, and guys, what I would encourage you to do is watch this whole documentary, because it's a documentary. It's a reliving. It immerses you in this disaster, ground zero. And this is on YouTube, and please go watch it because it's unbelievable, Josh, what you went through. And just, first of all, the ability to get there and get in the right position there's no one better in the world that does that. But then the ability to document, this was such a difficult area to chase in because, it was mountainous and there wasn't a lot of places to go. And there was a lot of very dangerous places in terms of like the storm surge and everything. And you were one of the few storm chasers. There were very few that actually were able to document this storm in the way that you did. I would say there's probably no one that documented it in the way that you did. And I'm glad that you did this because we now have this forever. Imagine if you wouldn't have got this footage. We might have not gotten, good, reliable footage out of one of the strongest storms ever to hit.
It's interesting you say that because I haven't seen any other footage from the core of this hurricane at landfall on the South Coast at peak intensity. And I view this as an historical document. And I'm telling you, every bad hurricane I've been in, the locals, have whether it's Florida, the Philippines, Mexico, or here, the locals are appreciative because think about it. For this region, this is 100 years from now. This region of Jamaica is going to be talking about this hurricane, and they're going to want a record of what happened. And I'm like, and this exists on YouTube for them to look, to refer to. It's it's like their history. This is like a major event in their history, and also meteorologically, even if you don't live here, strongest landfall.
Look at that.
Hurricane.
That is literally, wait, was that a wood plank that was catapulted? This is like the stuff you see in tornadoes. Oh my God.
I'm glad you caught that. No, I know that really struck me. I was like, okay, wow. I was like, this is why, I would not, after a certain point, I would not go out in this thing because it was like that kind of stuff flying through the air. Imagine that hitting your head. I mean, it's like, but it's like, I'm glad, that this video exists. And also just meteorologically, this is the strongest hurricane landfall on record in North America, tied with 2 others. But, it's like, it's meteorological history. So I'm happy that this exists. Like if I didn't shoot it, I'd hope that someone else did, but here it is,
Yeah. This is, guys, this is history. I mean, history when you see it. Like this is the kind of stuff that that people hundreds of years from now will look back at this footage. And Josh, I guys, once again, mods, help me out. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. This is the link to it on YouTube. Please go watch it. And what I want you to do right now is go to Josh's YouTube page. If you're not subscribed, I want you to go to his page. Just like Josh wasn't subscribed to our channel. He's the latest subscriber. Look, there he is, latest sub in the top left corner of the screen, Josh Morgerman. But I want you to go, all of you right now, I want you to, if you have to, close out of this stream, go to Josh's YouTube page, and please, iCyclone, subscribe. Wait, how was I not subscribed?
Oh, you got burnt. Okay.
Hey, although hold on. This was Phil's YouTube account. This was not mine.
Also, click like on the little thumbs up. Yeah, there we go. Like on the
wait, what the heck? This is even. I don't even know which YouTube. I don't even know. Wait, hold on. Actually, I don't even know which YouTube channel this is.
Are you on Connors?
I might be on Connors. I'm like 99% sure I was subscribed, but maybe you can. But
you're in a lot of trouble now.
Smash the like button and smash the subscribe button. If you break your mouse doing it, I will send you a new one. Go like this. Boom. Smash the button as hard as you possibly can. And once again, if you break your mouse, send a picture to Stu. I'll send you a new one.
A picture to me.
Or yeah, I don't want to get spammed with a bunch of mouse pictures.
I don't want mouse photos either, dude.
Well, unfortunately, Stu, that's just whatever. All right, Josh, I do want to ask you here. So this storm, where does it rank for you?
It's number 1 out of the 84 hurricanes I've been in. It's number 1. It was like just the ferocity, that inner core, that screaming sound, the whiteout. It had an energy that no other hurricane I've been in had.
Yeah. What's your top 5 then?
Okay, so Dorian in the Bahamas, which was officially this intensity as well, where I went through the eye. Super Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, which was also a Category 5. Actually, it was a little stronger than this, but with that one, I got in the eyewall, but I didn't quite get inside their radius of maximum winds. That was another one. So those are my top 3. I'd have to think about actually 4 and 5. I'd have to think about actually. It's like there's a lot of contenders, but there's a clear top 3.
Oh. And out of all of the hurricanes, typhoons have you chased, have you been in more hurricanes or typhoons? I'm going to assume hurricanes.
That's a good question. I believe that's a very good question. I believe it's hurricanes. But I've been in a lot of typhoons. But I think hurricanes win. Not U.S. hurricanes, but hurricanes in the Americas, in Mexico, in the Caribbean, I do a lot of chasing south of the border. So only about 1/3 of my chases have been in the United States. So there's a lot of international work there.
What country have you only been to like one time?
Okay, there's a couple. So Jamaica, Australia, Dominican Republic, Canada.
Wow.
Canada.
Yeah. No, it was no longer tropical, but I was kind of like getting into pervy post-tropical.
Yeah, whoa, that's a new look for you, Josh. I thought you're normally like post-tropical. I'm out.
No, I was embarrassed that I was doing it, but
you were embarrassed.
No, I felt like this is beneath me, like this extra tropical, like
this is hurting the brand.
I was like, but it was nice to see Nova Scotia. No, but it was weird. Listen, it was the only hurricane I've ever been in where there was like a wind chill factor, and it was like, okay, when a hurricane becomes extra tropical, okay, so like in a tropical hurricane, the heaviest rain, the strongest winds, it's all in the same spot. It gets up north, everything, it kind of becomes deconstructed. So you had this, like, it rained really hard, and then the rain stopped, and then you heard this low howl, and then it started to get windy, and then hours later, it's like hurricane force winds with no rain, and it's freezing. It's just like, it was like a weird...
Oh, I'm out. I'm out. I'm so out.
I hate a cold rain. It's never good.
It was totally, and there was like wind chill. It was like I was freezing, but there's like wreckage flying through the air. It was so weird. It was very weird. It was named Fiona.
Oh, I remember Fiona. Oh,
I chased it in the Dominican Republic where it was all tropical, and then up in Nova Scotia. It was like, so I got two sides of Fiona.
Oh my God.
I got it as a young hottie and an old granny.
Oh, no. Dude, that is I cannot. A cold like, extra tropical, whatever. I'm out.
It was
total. If the temperature's under 80, I'm out.
It was total pervert weather.
Oh my God. The chat would understand that. Okay. The chat is shocked. The chat, you've been pretty good tonight, chat. I'll give you that. You've been very good tonight. Other than a couple of chalked comments.
Not
the
in
chat
the
has kind of had the
Discord,
lid on. What'd you say, Stu?
Said not in the Discord, they haven't.
Oh God.
What?
No.
Are we getting some naughty comments?
So Josh, you can feel free to stick around if you'd like. But they tend to make some photos of Discord.
I have one more thing that I want to cover before.
Okay, go ahead.
Discord. I'll send it to you, Brady. But the National Hurricane Center is making some changes to the cone this year, as well as their. I know Hawaii is getting new storm surge graphics. And then I think they're launching a new experimental cone alongside a new operational cone. So if we could just touch on that real quick, that would be perfect. Brady, I sent it to you in the private chat, the link.
Okay.
So while you're bringing it up, I'll say that. So I'm at a conference right now, the National Tropical Weather Conference, and the National Hurricane Center guys were here. And we had basically a whole day seminar on the changes they're making to the warning products, the graphical products, like what we're seeing here. And how they're constantly improving things. And it's fascinating stuff. And there's a lot of science that goes into their decisions about how they visually represent the threats. And there's a lot of discussion around this. It's very interesting. And they presented it, but they were also getting, the room that I was in was full of broadcast meteorologists and the folks that have to get on TV to communicate these threats. And they were sort of getting, folks, and mine as well, getting our inputs on these products. And it's really cool. And they continue to improve them. And I'll say, there are a lot of national hurricane centers around the world. Every country has like their own. And we're lucky we have like the best of the best. I mean, in terms of, we're the only country that regularly flies planes into hurricanes to collect data. And the sort of the thoroughness of the warning products that we have. And we're very lucky what we have. I mean, hurricane science, I feel like it's like we have like the top dogs here, and also in terms of like the warning science. So these maps are getting more oriented around, they're trying to get away from, I'll just say one comment, they're trying to get away from emphasizing the exact track of the center and trying to emphasize more visually where are the threats and hazards, because sometimes the worst stuff is not where the center is crossing the coast, but it's like 50 miles down the coast. That's where the storm surge might peak, and depending on the hurricane. Sometimes the worst stuff is right near the center, but not always. So what they're trying to capture in these products is they're trying to map where the hazards are going to be, not just where the exact center is, because they don't want folks just obsessing on that line, because it's misleading.
Yeah, so they've taken the center line. So if I'm hearing that, Stu, have they taken the center line away completely?
So you probably are still able to enable the center line on their.
They leave an
graphics
option
itself.
for it, which
Oh, they
I
do.
actually like it. I like it because
Is the default I'm assuming the default option is without, right?
Correct. I believe that is what it'll be.
I mean, they've got it. They have to have done that as a response from Ian, because there was, I mean, with other hurricanes too, but there was so many people in Southwest Florida that did not evacuate because that center line showed it going almost all the way up to Tampa.
Right.
And that's exactly what people told me down in Florida. And Matt Devitt would also agree with that too.
Yeah. I think
so a couple of things that they're adding to the graphic itself for like us to see when they release their advisories and stuff is that the cone itself is now going to be just one solid color. The day 4 through 5 thing that was hatched at the end for like the extended outlook is no longer a thing. They have now fully gone to one shade because
is that because of Sharpie Gate?
I don't know if it's because of Sharpie Gate, but I'm pretty sure it's because of how accurate they're getting. And I know their new experimental cone, they're experimenting, I think, with like forecasting errors and stuff within the models, and they're changing like these certain things from circles to ellipses instead. So you're going to see like an elongated cone kind of towards the end. But then also something cool that they've done with this year is that they're showing the inland warning and watches now instead of just things along the coast. So now you can see who is under a hurricane warning or a tropical storm warning far inland, as far as I don't know, this might be Orlando, Florida in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then it also now overlays where hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings are as well, with the new dashed lines there that's south of that hurricane warning.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, Josh, what were your thoughts? I kind of like this. I like it. I mean, I think it it gives you a better idea about the inland effects. Is there a downside to this, Josh? Of like, because we've been talking about the Storm Prediction Center outlooks for days now with all the shows we've been doing, and a lot of people don't love them. But like, this to me seems all right. Is there a downside to this?
I mostly like the directions that they're going with the graphics, and I saw some sneak peeks of additional new products or new graphical stuff that they're thinking of doing, which I'm not even allowed to talk about.
Wow, he's not allowed to talk about it. Oh no! What if the chat pays you $20? Will that do it?
No, I can't.
Is there a dollar amount the chat could pay?
The Hurricane Center guys will come after me, but it was more stuff about figuring out how to use color and shapes to like what's the best way to convey the threats and to convey the threats to people who are not like me and you guys, like who are not weather nerds and might not even be that clear on where they even are on the map. That's like a lot of folks they can't find their house on a map. We're all weather nerds. We're like meaning we're geography wizards. We know where everything is, but a lot of people don't. So they're experimenting now how to kind of convey that threat to different people, and it's really interesting. And a big topic of discussion is colors and how they're used. It's very interesting stuff, but I generally think that they're going in a good direction. I don't always agree with every decision they make, but I think big picture, I think it's good because it's research based. They're not just going with their gut on things. They actually work with social scientists who actually do end user testing to see if people understand what they're looking at. There's it's seriously scientific. It's totally interesting stuff.
Yeah. It is, and I like this. I like these changes. I haven't really gotten a chance to look into them too much, but this to me makes sense. I also is this a storm surge? Okay, this was another thing where some of the storm surge graphics sometimes be a little confusing too, like zooming and everything. If have they made any changes to those as well?
I have not seen anything. I think, and you might be able to correct me on this, Josh, but I think it's just that Hawaii now has storm surge products and flooding.
I think you're right. And look at, by the way, notice it's like the Hawaii, the numbers don't go up that much. One interesting thing that we don't realize as Americans, we get these gargantuan storm surges, especially in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because of what's happening underneath the water. Because the off of much of the Gulf Coast, especially Mississippi, for example, the slope of the continental shelf is super gentle, meaning there's a lot of shallow water offshore. Actually, Matt was talking about this earlier. That shallow water, it's going to sound counterintuitive, but shallow water offshore makes bigger storm surges. It's the opposite of what you'd think. You think, oh, deeper water would be bigger storm surges. No, it's the opposite. So we get the biggest storm surges anywhere on earth, like in the United States. And another country that's like us, that also gets gargantuan, big, deadly storm surges that kill thousands of people, is Bangladesh. But a lot of the rest of the world doesn't.
Wow.
And like, for example, when I'm chasing in Taiwan or Japan, you'll be in a category 4 typhoon, literally a block from the water. You don't even think about the storm surge. It's not even an issue. But getting to these Hawaiian Islands, notice, since the bathymetry is so different, like there's just that yellow color. There's no you're not going to get to reds and pinks.
That's crazy.
Like, it's just, they don't get the kind of, I'm not saying Hawaii isn't threatened by storm surge, but it's not like what we get on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, it's a different. And the reason why I was bringing that up is because I was curious of like, I think there's still a need, there's still a gap of like, because when you look at like even the Hawaii example, right? When you look at this, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but when you look at this, it's like, okay, you say, okay, I live here. I live here. I want to zoom in and see, the inundation or how far inland this surge is going to go, right? Because I think that's what a lot of people that have like houses or family or friends that live down there, they're like, okay, maybe I'm not right along the coast, but trying to almost calculate, hey, I know I'm 9 feet above the ground. What will the storms? I know they have the inundation map, but it's hard to zoom in, right? Is there anything that's even more accurate?
Some of those okay, so they have like, it's not this product, but they have another product which I think does what you're talking about, where it's a detailed inundation map, and it comes out when there's a hurricane approaching, and you can get it basically like very, very high res, like not down to the street level, but almost. And that will show as a hurricane's approaching, it's color coded based on how high above the ground they expect the water to be in different places. And I think that's giving you what you're talking about.
Yeah, Brady, it's one page below that one, actually, what he's talking about.
Wait.
Nope. Where did you go?
Wait.
Yep, there it is.
And so you could zoom in really tight on those and like...
Okay. Which that's really... I think they had that. It's just, it was very like, you couldn't zoom in very far. So if they have this product, maybe I'm just not looking in the right spot, but it's a needed product, because I think really that is what, especially people in the Gulf, like, yes, they care how strong the wind's going to be. Yes, they care if they have a hurricane warning, but like what actually, really matters for people that are curious is their house going to flood, is how far is the storm surge going to come up? If I have a house that's 9 feet off the ground and the surge is going to come up 10 feet, you're getting water in your house, right? And obviously it's just a range, but to be able to at least get this is a needed tool. So this is pretty awesome. I think they already have this though, I think is what you guys are saying.
But but it goes, and you could zoom in pretty tight, like, and they issue these when a hurricane's threatening the coast. They'll issue ones that are specific to that hurricane and to where it's hitting. And I look at them and I use them. They tend to be on the aggressive side, which is good, because I think they'll, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then Brady, if you scroll down one more, this is kind of like they're gonna have like an updated front page.
Cool.
So it's gonna detail all the storms that are gonna be happening. But this is made to be mobile friendly, is what they're gunning for. But you will have the option to enable it on desktop as well. And honestly, I kind of prefer this version over what I currently see on the desktop version. So
definitely.
All these changes will start at the beginning of the 2026 hurricane season.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
we're going the right direction here. This is a math chat. Let's W Hurricane Center, WNHC in chat. Let's let the W's fly.
Yeah,
and Josh, go ahead.
Well, if you go down one more, they've added a new white X for areas where development is not expected to occur. So this will be on your day 7 or your day 1 through 7 graphics that you normally see. And then if you go down a little bit further to page 9, My lord.
Was that a cat? Did I just hear a cat? I just heard a cat.
I don't know what's happening in my college dorm.
That was a cat.
This is kind of like what they're doing with their new experimental cone, because obviously they're releasing this new operational cone, but there's another experimental cone that they're releasing too. So this will show your new kind of like error track, I guess. I don't know, Josh, if you want to touch on that, because I haven't read into much of this in detail at all.
I don't have too much to add to it, but I'll say that one cool thing is that the cone has gotten narrower and narrower. It's a hard word to say, over the years because of how great the accuracy is getting with the track forecasting. I mean, it's really improved tremendously even in the last 20 years. So that's so the cone doesn't have to be as wide as it used to be. I'll just say that about it.
Wow. We like that. We like it. We like a narrow cone. We like that. Okay.
Yeah, Brady, if you scroll down, it shows you kind of how like the cone is elongated at the end. I really don't like that shape, but
stop. Dude, just stop. Just stop. Just
you know,
this is, you know what? That is we're not getting the
I
chat.
didn't even think anything of it until
that.
you said that.
Oh, it's a problem. It's a problem. Well, Josh, you've been awesome. You know, you've stuck around longer than I thought you were ever going to stick around. So massive shout out to Brother Josh. Josh, feel free to drop. You got a probably big day at the conference tomorrow.
I'm gonna go get some dinner before the restaurant closes. But this has been this has been real. It's been a fun, action-packed discussion, and I want to thank you both.
Guys, I want everyone right now in chat to spam WJosh. Go to his YouTube. If you do not subscribe to his YouTube, we're going to have big problems.
Okay? There we go.
I'm staring right at the camera. Do it now.
Oh, I love when you get that way. Love it. Love it.
I'm doing it right now as we speak.
Thank you,
Josh. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Go have a good dinner, and see you on the next one, brother.
Take care, guys.
Peace out.
Josh. Boom.
And now it's time for the Discord.
I really don't want to do this. Is there anything that is let me just see. Let's just look real quick. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh,
they're all fine. They're all fine. Just play it. Just do it.
Oh my, what the
you have to start at the eclipse stuff from 11:28 in the morning.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll start the eclipse stuff. I need to go take a quick bio break real quick.
All right.
Cuz I have drank too much water. Okay, you can talk, Stu, you can talk about this one.
This one. Ooh.
What is this one?
This appears to be the eclipse over your bald spot.
I don't have a bald spot.
You do have a bald. Brady admitted that he had a bald spot on Twitter. I wish I could pull the tweet up for you guys, but let me go find it real quick. He oh god. Let's look. He could. Yes, he literally tweeted out 5 hours ago. Here comes the warmth. Lasting warmth is finally taking a hold in the eastern U.S. with above average temperatures expected for the next 2 weeks. Yes, I am happy about this. Time to go get some sun on my bald spot. He admitted it, chat. He has a bald spot. That's all I gotta say. I don't know what else to talk about. There's nothing really to talk about with this image. Mama G's talking about tax write-offs. I don't know.
WX_Chasin_Mason super chatted $10. I was holding out until Josh left. Time to get chalked. Beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji. 6,767,676,767. Beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji. 67,676,767. Beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji. 6,767,676,767. Beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji. 67,676,767, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, 6,767,676,767, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, 67,676,767, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, 6,767,676,767, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, 67,676,767, beaver emoji, beaver emoji, 6,767.
It's done. Okay, let's go. Moving on. Also, Mama G, it's literally, you're talking about tax write-offs in this photo.
Chat, I've just started a new fund, the Josh Morgerman's Dinner Fund. Josh was on our show for he was only supposed to be on for an hour because he had to go. He literally stayed on and might not be able to get dinner because he was on so long. Massive W to Josh. He is an absolute amazing guy. Fantastic. So let's get this Josh's Dinner Fund going. Okay. See, look, look at that. There's plenty of hair.
Also, Brady, you said you didn't have a bald spot, but you literally put out on Twitter that you do.
No, that was my uncle I was talking about. There's no bald spot. They're actually, chat, this proves it. There's no bald spot. I don't know where you're talking about here. What the hell is this? Okay, yep, we're deleting that. That is... bye-bye! Yo, what the... Okay. Bowling balls.
There's
So
a lot going on in here.
There is a lot going on in this photo.
We've got win.
Wow. That is special. That is a bro, look at the monitor up there. Meme power level over 9,000. Bro, what is going on? Oh, mama.
Connor's chair says pregnant, no lifting.
The story's true about the Beaver Alley lanes, and the Nidal Vector started making hurricane gains. A pregnant man rolled a Roblox face spare, sent a twister of beavers flying through the air. It's a meme-fueled legend, a glorious sight at the Wild Beaver Alley on that fabled night. Yeah, the Wild Beaver Alley.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Here's Connor. Looks like he's a pastor. A pregnant pastor about to marry someone. Fantastic. Great work, Storm Central. Bro, why is the chat doing this? This one has to be deleted. This one is absolutely getting deleted. Bye-bye. Why am I bald? Oh my God. What the... I have to know. What the hell was the prompt that you put in for this image?
I think Taco started it.
What?
Oh.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're deleting this one. That one's going bye-bye. What is this volcano emoji?
It's not a volcano.
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought it was a volcano. Okay. Yeah, we're deleting this one. Delete that one. Okay. Okay. Yep, this is a problem. Yep, we're deleting this one as well. That one's going bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Roses climbing high on an arbor gate. Efficient's a starfish sealing their fate. Big old beaver standing, watching on the left. A fella in bright orange, a pink dress on the right. Half the crowd wears headsets lit up cherry red, while a sea of furry faces nod their sleepy heads. Some folks brought their cameras, some just brought their hats. Guess this here's a wedding for the beavers and the cats. Yeah, meme level wedding right here on the ground. Ain't another kind of love like what they've found.
Bro, What, chat? What are we doing? These are the memes you made? What the Kristen said, I didn't tell this to do this, but it made you look like half Reed. Okay, that is disturbing. That is disturbing. No, Storm Central. Okay, yep. This chat. This is traumatizing. This is actually traumatizing. If my mom ever saw this Discord, she would be forever traumatized. Yeah, we're deleting this one too. What in the hell is going on? He proposed at Ohio's first Buc-ee's grand opening, and she said yes in front of the Beaver mascot.
Oh yeah, Brady. I did it in our polls channel. I made a poll. The chat wants you to go to the new Buc-ee's in Ohio.
Oh my God, I do. Yeah, maybe. Where is Josh's legs? Josh doesn't have any legs. Chat. Why did we make Josh with no legs? Where's his legs? And there's Patrick in the background. Just fantastic. Great work. Wow, but finally, thank you. An amazing picture. Look at this from Bud, the tornado. Oh, mama. Great photo, Bud. This is beauty. Oh, man. That is a great scene there. Look at that sunset, guys. Oh, man. Just beautiful. Beautiful. You respect the beaver. Stu, I'm going to be honest. You're the only one in this photo that actually looks like you.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
That's supposed to be Josh. That's supposed to be Phil. That's you. That's Matt Devitt. And that's me. That actually looks like Matt Devitt's hair. That looks like mine.
You have two fingers on your right hand.
Oh, that's disturbing. That is just very. Of course, the beavers are gnawing at the. Okay. I'm out. I'm so out, dude. Okay, this one, same thing. Oh, look, the bald spot on the laptop. Woohoo! We're so clever. We're so clever, chat. We're so clever. Oh, man. Shell frag.
It's like 15 people in my college dorm right now. This is not good. Wow.
Tornado, hurricane man. That's right. Hurricane. Okay, now this. Oh, I wish I would have been here when I'm going to send this to Josh. Wow. Hurricane man looking at a tornado. Oh, man. Thank you, Chappie. I saw that. Extreme. Wait, this looks like our stream. Oh, cool. It was up on the big screen.
Extreme balding morning.
Okay. All right. Very funny, chat. They're very funny. You know what? Does this look like the face of a man that's balding?
Yes. No. Hold on.
Where?
Go more like this. No, go further down. No, down, Brady. This dude doesn't know what directions are.
Look at that.
Just dodge the place where it actually is. Just dodge the place. It's all right.
It's absolutely luscious. Look at this. See? There's no bald spot.
Chappie
Where? You don't see it at all. Look.
Chappie said more hair on his face than his head.
Don't do it. Don't do it. So, Kristen said, no, you did not see it. There's no way. Look. You didn't see it. No bald spot. Absolutely none.
Mm-hmm.
Fuzzy just said, I tried to get them to behave. That didn't work at all.
Connor Croft super chatted $10. 777 quadriodecillion 777 tridecillion 777 duodecillion 777 undecillion 777 decillion 777 nonillion 777 octillion 777 septillion 777 sextillion 777 quintillion 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million 777 thousand 777 777 octillion
I want to rip it so bad.
777 septillion 777 sextillion 777 quintillion
paper, Brady. It doesn't make that sound.
777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million 777 thousand 777 777 novum gentillion 777 octovigintillion 777 septvigintillion 777 sexvigintillion 777 quinvigintillion 777 quarter-vigintillion.
If there's anyone that is watching this stream from the very beginning to the end, they'll be very confused.
777 duovigintillion 777 unvigintillion 777 vigintillion 777 novem decillion 777 octodecillion 777 septendecillion 777 sexdecillion 777 quindecillion 777 quatuordecillion 777 tridecillion 777 duodecillion 777 undecillion 777 decillion 777 nonillion 777 octillion 777 septillion 777
This is one of the longest ones I've ever seen.
7 quintillion 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777
I think we're at the end.
777 million 777,777. That Chappy Q2T super chatted $10. 669. Beaver.
Okay, let's continue.
Nice try, Chappy. He tried. He tried there. Yeah, okay.
Crocky, thanks for the bloody donation,
Connor,
mate.
I think I broke it. What even all these numbers?
Oh,
it would take a lot more than that, Connor, to break it.
Crikey, mate.
A lot more than that.
You need to throw some prawns on the barbie. Oh.
Stu, what the hell was that?
Crikey, mate. You throw some prawns on the barbie.
He's banned. That's a ban. That's a ban. That is a 10-second ban for Stu. Let's see the next one. Oh, great. Fantastic. This is just fantastic here.
Bro, twerk warning area. Look at the chat. Look at the chat on the right. Lol, he's really twerking. Cat 5 twerk level.
Yeah, that's new commercial. No! They put my face on it! Oh, no.
Bro, it made your head so big.
Guys, if I look like that in like 40 years, I want someone to punch me in the face. Connor, you hear that? If I look like that in 40 years, punch me in the face. Punch me in the face.
That's not
okay.
Good. That's a Mr. Clean when he's 90 years
old.
Oh,
look. Oh, great. We made Hurricane Man into a Hurricane Man into a beaver. Oh no.
Donation, mate.
A dingo ate my baby. Charlie, wow, Charlie's in the stream. Happy 37th birthday gift for Connor Croft. Happy birthday, Connor. Chat, let's spam happy birthday in the chat. Oh, mama. Thank you, Charlie. Oh. Rocky, thanks for the bloody donation, mate. A dingo ate my baby. Hurricane, yo, you guys have done Hurricane Man so wrong, bro. You've done him so wrong. Okay. What is this? What the hell is that hairstyle? Yo,
dude, it's the new fad, bro.
What is the circle in the center of my head?
A bullseye.
For what? What the hell are we doing?
Landing like suction cup darts on your bald head or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a problem. Mason, this is the same photo.
Oh, look. Super it's
okay. It's a ball. Great. Good work.
Urify owl, shkoi or fupo, higf, ewaroig velain froj fupo isknipio kreg pnholak, jip 90 itkwe oya jayak picart fnor epel vnoi kruj gapik area.
I'm glad Connor learned to speak Tungvaloan. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Let's see if we got another photos here. Let's keep going. Okay. Oh. What is this? Wait, that's Jaws. No way. The chat made Josh into an old grandma.
Oof.
Bro, I'm gonna have to send that to him, bro. No way. No way. Connor is training his text-to-speech to not allow this nonsense. You can't train text-to-speech, Chappie. There's no way. Stu with some, wow, lightning photos. Just magnificent.
These were my first ever lightning photos that I took in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Wow.
This was at like 12:30 in the morning or something on 4th of July, because Gatlinburg, they do the first like 4th of July celebration. They have like this big parade or whatever, but they had to cancel it because of severe weather in the area. We actually had to take a 2-hour detour back to our cabin up in the mountains. Like we were probably like 10 miles away from people. We had to take a detour because the highway actually had like massive pine trees completely blocking the whole thing. Like I had it completely shut down.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't have any photos of those trees, but
that's an epic photo. Did you catch that on photo or video?
Yeah, these were on photo. Like I was holding, like, I think I had like a, I don't know, like a iPhone 7, That's iPhone impressive. 8 at the time. I was just holding down burst mode while in the car. So that's why you see like the windshield wipers in there and whatever. You can see all the traffic and whatnot. So, but yeah, these were my
That's
first
impressive.
ever.
WX_chasing_Mason super chatted $10. Buridi wado kadisuka. Itsuwa, atama no neji gar button do baka yarada. Hanbun no tatsumoki dat. Saw, dorde kikari teru nda yo, Emmy, 69.
I really don't want to know what that translates to. And Stu, let's not, I don't want to know. I do not want to know what that translates to. I just don't.
Apparently it's Japanese. Where is Brady? That guy is a total idiot. He's got a screw loose. Half tornado in quotes. Just how damn crazy is that?
Okay. That is insane. That is actually impressive too that you're able to put that in there that fast. That is wow. Thank you, Mason. Thank you. Oh, mama. What's this?
Here's some peaceful cloud time lapse.
Oh. Oh, how peaceful.
Yes.
Oh. Mama G said, that guy's crazy. The screw on his head is a button. Half timer. Well, how many of those are there? Wait, Mama G has a completely different translation. Where is Beredi? That guy is crazy. The screw on his head is a button. Half timer? Well, how many of those are there? ME69.
I don't know. I just searched up Google Translate, copy and pasted it.
I tend to like that second translation there. I think that makes probably the most sense.
Well, all right.
Getty just said, let's talk about the severe weather that's coming up.
That's Friday's stream.
Yeah, we will be doing. So Getty, we do have severe weather coming up. We are going to be talking about that potentially tomorrow night and Friday night. So make sure you tune in then. The risks are still up in the air. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because we don't want to. These risks are going to trend one way or another. So I want to.
If you join our Discord though, which I'm sure mods you can link it in chat. I did post something on our announcements channel with the weather news ping. So that's AI. That's in there. That's on the upcoming severe weather risk. So make sure to go read that.
That is AI. Yeah, Getty. I promise you we'll cover it. That is 100% AI. 100% AI. Look at the text in the bottom right corner. See how it's there's text on there? Absolutely, it's AI. Yep, it's AI. I knew it. You guys are making. Yep. There's another AI. Okay. Okay.
Bro.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, you can land a plane on my forehead. Oh, woohoo.
Plane.
Yeah, that's so funny, chat. Oh.
What plane is that?
That's like an AC-130 from Call of Duty, bro. that is a massive play in real life too. So I get what he's trying to say. Oh. I feel like we need some like Zen music in the background. Hold on, let me see what I can do. Wait. Let's see if I have anything.
It's just clouds.
Nope, wrong sound. Oh, mama. Wait, nope, that's the wrong one. It doesn't need like Zen.
What was that?
I don't know.
Were you experimenting with AI music of your own?
No. Oh. It's so peaceful. Oh. Wait. Someone in chat just said followed for science. Bummer. Oh my God. Yes. Someone just posted that on one of my videos. Oh my God. Just never know, chat. Just never know.
My Discord won't even open right now, so that's great.
Dog!
That's my dog. That's this dog is no longer with us, but that was my
I'm sorry, Stu.
Yeah, that he died like a year and a half ago. Old age. Had to put him down.
Wow. Look at this from Colt. Wow. This is a snow time lapse. Oh, but look at the snow melting there. Classic spring. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Oh, mama. That's some springtime snow if I've ever seen one. Colt, where is that from? Oh, no. I'm very scared to click on this thing.
Well, Brady found the clippers in the drawer. Doesn't need to check the mirror much anymore. Yeah, the shower takes him half the time. He's got that high gloss confidence, it's a good sign. A little sun reflects right off the top. No reason for this easy feeling to stop.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. See, look, more AI content. More AI content. Down. R. Patterson, download Weatherfront and blow by the competition. That's what the cat. One cat is whispering to the cat. He's Stormcat 102 and 103, and Stormcat 102 is whispering to 103, and says,
download Weatherfront and blow by the competition. Wow. I didn't know
thought it
cats
was
whispered to each
download
other.
Weatherfront and you'll be blown by the competition or something.
That's a ban. That is a ban. And that seems like a pretty good place to end the stream. that is Mama G, they're working on it. They're working on it. They have to decide, right? They have to decide whether they're going to increase their features or go to Android. And they're choosing the increase the features route, but they will eventually do Android. Guys, keep in mind, the Weatherfront guys, it's 2 guys, right? And all these other apps like, Omega and others, they've got teams of, tens or more. There's 2 people at Weatherfront. One is John, who's on our show. So that's why they have limited, resources. So they can only do so much. And they have day jobs too. So free Stu. All right, I'll free Stu. Stu, you get one more chance. That was chalked. That was chalked. But Mama G, it's not as easy as just turning on a switch. They have to actually have a completely separate code base for Android. So you can't just say, oh, we're going to turn on Android. It's almost like building out a complete separate app, right? From my software development background, that's kind of like what it is. So, wait, Chappie just said he's making. there's the Josh. We have to make stickers. Let's see if we can rate someone here.
If you can get me a higher quality version of it, I can make it a Discord emote for sure.
Okay. Delivering IRL, which is Brother Dwayne. Brother Dwayne is live streaming. So we're gonna raid. He's on his alt account. He thought we would never be able to find him, but we did. Yeah. Can we have a switch to mute Stoop?
Bro, okay. What? Who said that? Chappie? Bro, Chappie, you're chalked.
Oh, Chappie. All right, let's.
What is
let's
happening in my college dorm?
That's a problem.
Dude, it sounds like all the hyenas from The Lion King.
Yeah, I'm out. All right, I'm setting up the raid here. Chappie, you want me to wait for your song? Is it in Discord?
I've been begging for 30 minutes to mute Stu, bro.
That's crazy, chat. Okay, I'll play your song. Chappie, it better not be something awful.
Is it because my mic is loud, chat, or do you guys just hate me that much?
Oh, Stu, could you play this song real quick and just make sure it's not anything crazy?
Could I play it?
Hold on, let me just wait. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Hold on. I have to open it in a different browser here. Guys, I figured out my muting problem. Yeah, I think it's fine, Stu. So I'm going to play it.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right, let's play this.
Go blue! Let's go! Ohio sucks. It really, really sucks. Yeah!
Ban him.
Michigan is better.
Ban him, chat. Ban him.
Ohio sucks. It really, really sucks.
Right now.
Really, really sucks. Michigan is better.
Ban him. Ban him right now.
Go blue! Michigan!
Better! Ban him.
Ban him. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Weather Show. That's our new intro song right there.
No, it's not. That is not. Someone just said, "Oh, this is nauseating."
Welcome back to another episode of the Big Weather Show, the only place where you'll find chalked weather content.
Just shocked. Okay, you know what, chat? We've got the raid set up. Stu, any final words, my friend?
No.
Nothing?
No, I have nothing.
Me neither. Chat, thank you all for the show tonight. We went later than I expected, but
Give
it's okay.
me more
We had a
power
great time.
and I'll ban Stu. Bro. What do we do? Mama G, what is your issue?
Mama G is angry tonight. She is absolutely angry. Oh, Mama. Wow. Guys, what a show tonight. Okay. What a show. Thank you all for joining us. We had a great show earlier on. We talked about El Nino. I am going to be putting out an El Nino video, guys, that summarizes what we talked about and then even more. So when I put that video out, make sure you go. It's crucial when in the first 24 hours when I put it out, go watch it and then go share it, comment it, like on it. That way we can get it into the algorithm. We kind of trick YouTube to think it's better than it actually is. So go do that when I put the video out. Probably the next 24 hours, I'll try to put it out. Also, we're probably going to be live maybe tomorrow night, probably Friday night, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're probably going to be live at the end of every stream. So that's because Connor's going to be live probably for most of those days. So we'll be live after his chase. Guys, thank you all for stopping in tonight, and thank you all for our new members. Beth Jordan gave 5 memberships earlier on the show. Mason, Wilson, Larry, Darlene, Mason again, Connor. Oh, Connor, so shocked. Chappie, Connor, Charlie. Oh, love Charlie. Love your content, brother Charlie. Enjoyer, Connor, and Mason with the 10 bombs. Thank you all for all that you do. Thank you all for the new timers here on the stream from Stu and Josh Morgerman and Phil and Matt Devitt. Oh.
At Getty, I super chatted $9.99. Well done, guys. Until next time.
Oh, that is a perfect segue. Find someone, tell him you love him, tell him you care about him, do something nice for someone today. This is Stormcat 5, and I will see you on the next one.
We sat down at the table tonight. The stream was lit, the chat put up a fight. Stu pulled up the charts with a knowing glance. He said the pattern shifting, this ain't by chance. Josh Morgerman leaned with stories to tell, chasing the eye of Melissa where it swelled. Matt Devitt broke it down clean and fast. He said El Nino's gonna shape this season no cast. El Nino rising, oceans warm, changing the path of every storm. From when sheer it lights, the water's so deep, oh hurricane season, it won't play so cheap. Melissa formed in the tropical sea, a swirling force for all to see. Stu said, watch how she evolves, every frame a big problem to solve. Josh spoke up with the chase day grin. I've stood up in the eye where the calm sets in, but outside that wall, that's where it roars. That kind of power you can't ignore. El Nino rising, shifting the game. Some storms weaken, someone gain fame. From quiet starts to sudden spin, you never know how it all began. Matt Devitt pointed to the sheer upper winds could dominate here.
Everyone go to
Stormcat 5.
Yep, ban. Everyone go to the Delivering IR stream, spam W. Dwayne. W. Dwayne.